All right, a Tuesday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes and the Drake heading up until 2 o'clock. The next 4 hours we've got you. We got a packed show today. We'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs in the 11 o'clock hour, Les Norman in the noon hour, Todd Lebo in the 1 o'clock hour, some fact or fiction. Royals with game 2 of the 4 games set tonight against the Rangers.
Fact.
They've got 3 games remaining in the series to pull off the bare minimum of just simply splitting. At minimum, split the 4-game set with the Rangers, but by winning last night against Al Leiterson, or Mark Leiterston few. I like that one better. Who's on the mound? Mark Leiterson's a few. They win the game last night, 4-3. Take care of business. Vinny with a big home run. Michael Wacha doing Michael Wacha things. Schreiber getting out of it. Urseg, Estevez doing their thing. And a clean 4-3 victory for the Royals over the Rangers. And game 2 coming up tonight. We'll talk about Seth Lugo and what we want to see tonight from Seth Lugo, which is anything but what we've seen the previous 4 starts from Seth Lugo. Giving up fewer than 7 runs would be a nice start. That'd be at least an improvement, unfortunately, from the last 2 times. But we'll talk about some Kansas City Royals today, certainly what the Royals have added to their lineup since the All-Star break, and a move by Mike or Matt. It'll be about one guy named Mike, another guy named Jonathan, and we talked about a fella named Adam yesterday. But Matt Quattrero, what he has done, we'll talk about that with Les Norman and some other things as well. And then Bill Barnwell at ESPN, he wrote a piece today at ESPN about the 5 teams that are headed for a regression from last year to this year. Obviously, one of the teams that's listed is the Chiefs.
Eagles. Oh.
You would think. No.
Shocking.
The Chiefs with their 15-2 record last year and their crazy 11 wins by a score. And there was a number of things that he brought up in there, which I think Bill Barnwell does a great job. But looking through some of that, I do want to present a counter to some of the things that he said. So we'll get into that as well. 913-912-4810 is the text line to join us. 913-912-4810 to be a part of the show, part of the conversation today. So the Royals get the win last night, and I don't know that I can ever remember. I was trying to think if I can remember a Royals pitcher that was as robotic or in a good way, consistent as Michael Wacha has been on the mound. Because you go into the game, you know what to expect. He's going to get you more than likely at least to the 6th inning and pitch into the 6th, and he's going to give up 2 or fewer runs. It is as consistent of a pitcher every time out. Like sometimes you'll have a pitcher that'll go out there and 7 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 3 runs. It's like, okay, there you go. That's 4 runs over 12 innings. That's 6 innings and 2 runs combined. Nice job. Okay, no, it's not. That's not the same. You know, your yards per attempt can be 20 or can be 10. If you've got 2 carries and 20 yards, it might be 1 carry for 20 and 1 carry for 0. Well, you're averaging 10 yards per carry. Sure. And then there can also be the old adage of whoever it is that, you know, if you need 1 yard, I'll get you 3. If you need 5 yards, I'll get you 3. Every time I touch the ball, I'm going to get you 3 yards. That guy averages 3 yards per carry. Literally gets 3 yards every time he touches the ball. But Michael Wacha, this year, he has 16 of his starts in which he's given up 2 or fewer runs. 19 of his starts in which he's given up 3 or fewer runs. And 2 of those starts in which he gave up 3 were quality starts because he pitched a full 6 innings. So he has 1 of those 19 starts that wasn't a quality start or didn't give up 2 or fewer runs. We gave up more than 2. Fewer than 2 runs and pitching into the 6th inning. So getting at least 5 1/3, 5 2/3, what we've seen the last couple of times, because Not all of it is his fault. Letting a runner on base certainly is his fault. And there is a specific strategy right now with Matt Quatraro that if a starter gets into the 6th inning and gives up a base runner, you're coming out of the game.
You have to. It's a rule.
Now, last night he let Walker work out of it a little bit. And then the base hit happened, and all right, you're coming out of the game. You're going to get him. And Walker knew it as well as soon as he gave up the hit because that's just simply been what Quatraro has been doing. And Schreiber came in, got the job done. Good on him. And the bullpen took care of the rest, getting the job done. But 13 starts in which he's pitched into the 6th, giving up 2 or fewer runs, including 6 straight.
Wow.
Last night was the 6th straight start for Waka, pitching into at least the 6th inning and giving up 2 or fewer runs. 6 consecutive times on the mound that he's out there. And his last 4 outings, he's 4-0 in getting the decision. Decisions and wins and losses for pitchers, we talk about how arbitrary and ridiculous that is, and we don't really pay attention to those really at all anymore. But it is something to be said for a guy that's going out there pitching into the 6th inning, giving up that fewer runs, and leaving with the lead. Leaving the game, his team has the lead when he's in the dugout. Bullpen certainly has to take care of business for you to get the win, and they did. But what he's doing is every time out, he's giving the bullpen an opportunity to protect the lead. And when you're protecting the lead like that, you're typically getting your best relievers to come into the game. You're getting your Schreiber, Erceg, Estevez, which gives you a better chance of protecting said lead. And that's why the Royals are 4-0 in the last 4 starts that Michael Wacha's gone to the mound, and he's gotten the W in the decision each and every time. I don't know that I can remember a stretch like this that wasn't overly dominant like Greinke in 2009 might be the one that because I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, Greinke 09 was just like every time out, it was like ace stuff. But that was where it's like you knew what to expect, that it was like screwball type, things. Wacha's not going out there. He's got, 40 innings and like 28 strikeouts over this stretch. So it's not like he's, 9 strikeouts per 9 or anything, but just the consistent, what you're going to get. It is as professional and businesslike as it gets. He goes out there, does his work, gets the job done, hands it over to the bullpen, leaves the mound with 2 or fewer runs, giving the ball to the bullpen either in the 6th inning or to start the 7th inning. And the Royals have a lead when he leaves the mound. It's been 6 straight. I don't know that I can remember somebody that's been that robotic and automatic that on the stretch that he's on right now.
It's been incredible. And that changeup is still ridiculous. There's a few last night. One to Evan Carter that Evan Carter looked befuddled by. He's like, what? What just happened? Where'd the ball go? I mean, his changeup has been on, I think, a different level even during these starts. But going back to 2023, this is when the stretch of consistency really started for Michael Wacha. This is an even more consistent stretch. But in 23, 3.22 ERA, 1.16 whip. 24, 3.35 ERA, 1.19 whip. This year, 3.34 ERA, 1.17.
I mean, that's
3 straight years within a .13 ERA and .3 whip.
That's amazing.
.03 whip.
It's amazing.
Just, he is the definition of a professional major league number 3 pitcher?
Yeah, number two, number 3. I mean,
number 2?
I think there's a lot of rotations out there that would like a guy that's going to go to the mound every time, and when he walks off the mound, he's either handing the ball to the manager in the 6th inning or coming off after retiring the 3rd out in the 6th inning, and there's 2 or fewer runs up there on the board.
It's just been a masterclass of maybe you don't have the best fastball, but his changeup ranks this year in the 100th percentile, which I don't think is a shocker. But I do think it's interesting.
It's a Frisbee. It just spins, on an axis. It's crazy.
He used to be changeup first. Now it's fastball slightly ahead of the change. And I don't know if it's making the changeup look even better or if there's a difference there. But Michael Wacha has just been, again, different level, throwing the cutter more than the sinker this year. I would imagine that has something to do with facing lefties. But I've been enamored by the consistent professional approach, and it's coming at a time when the Royals need it more than ever with Seth Lugo struggling.
Yes, 100%.
With Lugo struggling, Wacha has said, okay, I'll take the baton and run with it.
Lugo struggling, Reagans and Bubic out.
Yeah.
Like somebody has to be out on the mound to where you can rely on this guy. Like, I'm going to go to the mound, and no matter what tonight, we've got a chance to win this game. if it's in Toronto, if it's in Boston, right? I mean, we could talk about this stretch of games that he's on was the Mets, the Marlins. They lost that game, though, 3-1. But the Mets, the Marlins, and then the Guardians, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Nationals, and then the Rangers. In that stretch, starting from Cleveland, that's 5 straight starts. Only one of those teams is not in a playoff hunt, and that's the Nationals. It's the only team. Cleveland, they're chasing. Toronto's one of the better teams in the American League. Boston's one of the better teams in the American League. And Texas, they had been chasing for a couple of weeks, and now putting them in their rearview mirror and helping do that was Michael Wacha last night, and Michael Wacha along the way by getting the win in Toronto, in Boston, and, helping the Royals win against the Nationals as well. But just going out there, I mean, it's 6 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 runs. 5 2/3, 3 strikeouts, 2 runs. 5 2/3, 3 strikeouts, 2 runs. It's like the Stratomatic, or you play the card and this is what you're going to get. Here are the numbers here. You just know what you're going to get. It's an amazing run that he's on, and they absolutely need it. And maybe that's where, he's putting more on his shoulders of, I know that I can't just be a guy in the mix with this rotation. If Reagan's and Lugo and, those guys are going every single start out, again, 94, 95 starts last year between the 3, be like, okay, yeah, you're getting Wacha, you're getting a nice game, but boy, Lugo, you might get 7 innings and no earned runs. Reagan's, you might get 12 strikeouts and no walks. You never know. Lugo's on the mound. It's going to be a nice professional game. And now it's like that's what they need. Lugo doing that, Noah Cameron solidifying, doing his consistent thing. They have found
Ryan Bergert now, I think, can almost get thrown into that equation.
They found that niche of let's get guys that are they're not going to be blowing guys away. We may not have 15 strikeouts and 2 walks or whatever. Well, Bergert's got 15 strikeouts over the last 2 starts combined, but it's going to be consistent. It's going to give you a chance to win, and it's been putting the Royals in a good spot, and you're helping your bullpen along the way. And there's a reason why they've been this good post All-Star break and since July, as to why they're playing 600 baseball since July. And man, if you could just go back and change a little bit of June, just a little bit of June, then you're in a completely different spot than you are right now. But that's part of an entire season. Is that June happened. So now you got to catch up and make up for what happened in June.
It's one of these situations where you look back, and we all would have thought in August it'd be Wacha, Bergert, and Noah Cameron as your big 3.
For sure.
That's your big 3.
The big 3, yes.
The big 3, not Reagan's, Lugo, maybe Bubic.
Yeah.
No, it's Bergert, definitely not Bailey Falter, Michael Wacha, and Noah Cameron.
Yeah, and unfortunately not Seth Lugo.
Unfortunately not Seth Lugo.
Hopefully that's the case. But if if we look back or go back to the beginning of the season and look ahead and say, all right, I'm not going to tell you what the record is on August 19th. But what I'm going to tell you is Bobby's not going to have his MVP type season. He's still going to be OPSing it at 843. India's going to be bad to where he gets moved from the leadoff spot. He just hasn't been that guy. Vinny's only getting on base at 317 and batting 257. MJ's going to last a couple of weeks. Renfro's going to get DFA'd. Yastrzemski's going to be traded for a guy that over the season is batting 222, whatever.
Reagan's has a 5 ERA before getting injured.
Reagan's has only had 10 starts with a 5 ERA, and who knows when he's going to return. Michael Lorenzen has missed starts. Chris Bubic, who you were hoping was going to be really good out of the starter, is lost for the season right around the All-Star break. Lugo is on one of the worst stretches of his career. And what's the record? I would
45
not have,
wins, 50 wins.
I wouldn't have guessed 64 and 61.
I mean, Michael Garcia, you have to throw in there.
I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I didn't tell you about Michael Garcia.
The positives, I know.
I didn't list the positives, okay? There's a reason I didn't list the positives. Or even if I said, Noah Cameron's going to be a guy that's going to have 7 more starts at this point than Cole Reagan's. And it's like, Noah Cameron, I like him. He's pitching well in spring training, okay. But that's the guy that's going to be in for Cole Reagan's, a guy that's like,
You'd think 45 to 50 wins probably.
I would guess about that. But then you start to throw in some of the positives. Noah Cameron's been a Rookie of the Year candidate. He's not going to win it because obviously that's going to be Nick Kurtz. But at least he was fourth in the voting at MLB.com a week ago.
Finally.
Yeah, they did an update on, MLB. Remember, MLB.com had him out of like the top 5 or 6 at the All-Star break. I'm like, what
top
are we even
10.
doing?
They had
doing?
Cags, I think, ahead of him somehow. And you're like, what?
It's like, what are we even doing here? But then they had him, the most recent one, it was Kurtz 1, Jack Wilson still, because he's got a high batting average. He's up there and deserving. Roman Anthony 3rd, and then Noah Cameron 4th. Roman Anthony's name recognition. Noah Cameron over the course of the season has done, I believe, more than Roman Anthony. By the end of the season, Roman Anthony,
we'll find out.
We'll find out what he is, but I don't mind that as much because it's not as egregious as some of the others that when we're looking at them. Like, why is Noah Cameron not even being talked about here? So the positive would be, hey, Noah Cameron's having a season in which, if it wasn't for Nick Kurtz being amazing, he would be in greater consideration for Rookie of the Year. Honestly, no offense, Noah Cameron, I'm kind of glad he's not, because that would winning the Rookie of the Year, no matter when you make your debut, gives you a full year of service time. So,
But you need him to get second, right?
Top 2.
If he gets second, he gets their Royals get a pick. Correct? The draft pick?
No. You that's only if you are you have to start the season.
Oh, okay.
To start the season, you have to win Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
You've got to be top 3 in MVP over your arbitration eligible
Well, I
years.
like my way better because it gives the Royals a draft pick. I think
sure.
I
Just
should. Hey, Rob.
You're like Oprah of draft picks.
Yes.
Like, you get a draft pick and you get a draft pick.
And some of them are all Royals. Weird.
But that was the talk about Cags. It's like, okay, you brought up Caglione, and when, Samson, David Sampson, the guy down in Miami.
Samsonite.
Knew it started with an S, though. Slippy Slappy, I think that's what we call him. We call him Slippy Slappy. Swanson? But he's the one that said it was one of the most egregious monetary decisions that a front office has ever made by bringing up Cags a couple of weeks of when it could have been the Super 2. Well, now you no longer have to worry about the Super 2. But also, if Cags had been, let's say it's flipped. Let's say Kurtz is struggling and Cags is doing what Nick Kurtz is doing, is going to win Rookie of the Year. He gets a full year of service time anyway.
Yeah.
So bleep your Super 2.
Yeah,
this now becomes a full year of service time. So, your Super 2 status is now just your regular status if he does that. So, to a degree, okay that, Noah Cameron is doing what he's doing while also not winning Rookie of the Year. That'd be cool to be an awesome story for Noah Cameron, but it does give the Royals an extra year of team control with Noah Cameron. But that would be obviously the positive. Here's what Noah Cameron is doing. But if I then said, Zerpa and Schreiber, or Zerpa is going to struggle at times and is not reliable. They're going to cycle through bullpen guys almost all year, and it's going to be rough going. And this guy, Ryan Bergert, who hasn't made his major league, or did he make his debut last year out of the bullpen or something with the Padres, who's pitched a couple of innings in baseball, is going to be now a mainstay in your rotation moving forward. We can criticize Quatrero for individual moves, but he's also managing a team that all of those things have happened to 3 games over 500 and in the wild card.
Yeah.
He's still done that.
And moving Yaz to the leadoff spot, we're in 9 games, 3 leadoff home runs for Yaz.
That was nice. So I put this together. Yaz in the leadoff spot and Jonathan India batting 6th or 7th. Yaz in the leadoff, Jonathan India batting 6th or 7th. What they have combined in the games that they have played so far since Matt Quatrero made that move. All right, ready? They are combined batting .254. What do you think their on-base percentage is? They're batting .254.
350. Probably a little high, but 350.
Higher.
370.
Higher.
383.
Ooh, 373.
Oh, there we go.
373 on base percentage combined with Yaz and India since India moved to the 6 and 7, and Yaz has been the leadoff. And once he put Yaz at leadoff, he's been the leadoff every single game except for he batted 6th one game. That's when Garcia led off, and I think that was against that might have been a lefty that they threw in there.
Could have been.
Because they moved Garcia. But they faced a lot of righties, thankfully. they've been facing a lot of righties. On base at 373. They are slugging 587 combined. Yaz leading off and India batting 6th or 7th have combined OPS at 960. The two bats. You're putting two bats in the lineup since he made that move. You're talking about elongating a lineup, a batting order? Yeah. You put that guy in at the leadoff spot and that guy batting 7th. You had somebody batting 7th that wasn't good. You had somebody batting 1st that wasn't playing all that well, that wasn't living up to the back of his baseball card. And you have taken both those spots and you have turned them in to one of the better hitters in baseball over the course of a season to be one of the better hitters.
Yeah.
But over the last couple of weeks, what we're watching is two spots that have just ballooned in terms of production from what you were getting before. No wonder they're scoring 7, 8 runs. We could talk about Adam Frazier and things like that, but that's just trading for him and him doing that thing. This move was specific. Matt Quattrero going to Jonathan India saying, I'm taking you out of the leadoff spot, not just for today. It's not a 1 or 2 game thing. I'm taking you out of the leadoff spot. We're going to put Yaz up at the leadoff spot because he's going to get on base against righties. He's going to work a walk. He's got great judgment of the strike zone, swing decisions. It's what we've been talking about since the Yankees divisional series last year, and we traded for this guy. We're going to put him in the 1 spot. We're going to move you down to 7th or 6th, but we still want you to be the guy that you are. Still take the same approach. You're just not the leadoff hitter. You good with that? Whatever it takes to win, Skip. Let's do it. Let's go out and win games. I just want to go to the postseason. I want to play playoff baseball. All right. I want to drive a Range Rover. I want to make bank, bro. Okay. That's what I want to do. And it's been one of the best moves they've made all year.
What's funny is India just feels like he's also having a power resurgence since moving down.
Is he still using Michael Garcia's bat?
His exit velo seems higher. I mean, even the single last night was a rocket.
Yeah.
The 450-foot home run. Jonathan India went down to the 6th hole and goes, oh, so I can just be a power hitter now, apparently.
You needed a middle-of-the-order bat?
I'll be your guy.
I got you, JJ.
He looks like a different hitter. I mean, just even his swing bat speed seems to be increased. I don't know what's going on, but
I was trying to look last night at the name. Is he still using Garcia's bat?
I don't know. Good call.
Because it was like a week and a half ago that he asked Michael Garcia to use his bat.
I forgot about that.
And Garcia was like, yeah, I got like 15 of them. Go ahead, use one. And then India hit a home run. It was the first of his 3 home runs he's hit in the 6th and 7th spot. And he hit a home run. And then he used it the next day. And he used it the next day. But I haven't heard an update as if he's still using Michael Garcia's bat.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. Like, why would you
assume so.
Vinny keeps shaving. Like, there's no reason for Vinny to ever grow facial hair back until he starts struggling.
Vincent is playing so much better.
Right.
I like Vincent.
Yes, Vincent is fine. Vincent's playing really good baseball.
Vincent Pasquantino looks really good.
Keep being Vincent Pasquantino. Keep playing good baseball. Right? Keep showing up with the button-up shirt to the meetings and putting that cover letter on the TPS report.
Yes.
Doing the things you're supposed to be doing. And I don't know if it's still going on, but I hope Jonathan India is still using Michael Garcia's bat. Just keep doing that.
One thing I want to give a huge shout-out to is Luke Melee for the incredible pick and tag.
Oh, my God, last night, yes.
Last night.
I'd be pissed if I was the Rangers.
Well, I don't know how you overturn it, though.
I'd be overturning it because his foot was on the home plate.
He did it 2 days in a row, too.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, back-to-back day. I mean, but that one
throw
last
from
night.
India and then the throw from Rave. Like, the India one was short right field.
Yeah.
The one from Rave was like deep right field coming in on a sort of a loop.
Yes.
And then you got to judge how high that thing. Oh,
phenomenal throw by John Rave, too.
Yeah.
From that distance. And it was a little up the line.
That's fine.
But that was the worst possible hop for a catcher to try and handle.
It's tough.
That is
in-between.
in between the nightmare hop. And he was able to not only get it, but be quick down. Racked Jock Peterson, it looked like, and an insult to injury there.
I'll say this: maybe there was no way that you could didn't have enough evidence to overturn. But I will say that if that happened against the Royals, I'd be livid if it was flipped and I'm like his foot's on. Even Ryan Lefevre is like, well, I mean, seems pretty obvious, and there's a reason Bruce Bochy is upset, and I don't blame him. I'd be pretty mad too. You can't argue because you get immediately tossed from the game with that rule, arguing the replay, whatever the result of the replay is. But hey, great throw by Ray. Maybe principle alone, New York was like, I mean, I think he's safe. It looks safe to me, but that throw and that pick by Maley and that tag, sorry. I'm just going to go with the call on the field. Just out of principle alone, I'm going with the call on the field.
We want the Royals to catch the Red Sox, so
yes.
For principle alone.
Yeah, but also it kind of feels like there's a little bit of a reversal of fortune. Last year, it felt like the Royals were on the wrong side of some of these 50-50
all of them
calls. Yeah, most of them, yes, every of the calls.
Every of the calls.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue rolling. Bill Barnwell wrote about a regression, and I want to look at some of the points that he made and see if a regression is actually expected, certainly record-wise regression, because a regression record-wise would still put him at 14-3. But some of the reasons why he thinks there's a fallback to maybe 10 or 11 wins, although he did say 12 wins in a postseason run is always expected from the Chiefs. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll do that coming up next. I will hear from the Kansas City Chiefs coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Coordinator Day, meaning we get some
Ooh.
spags. Good morning, good afternoon. Not sure what time it is. Don't really have much for you today, but, tough news about FAU. Good kid. And then we'll see what else he says about that.
Oh, what is it? Tough and good kid, I feel like, have to be locks.
Yeah. 913-912-4810. I like this text says, now, wait a minute. You'll talk down on Vinny saying he only has a 257 batting average, 317 on base, yet he's got 23 home runs and 80 RBIs. Yeah, but we can't mention that. We were talking about the things that we would say specifically bad if we were looking at the beginning of the season and saying, let's cherry pick a number of things that aren't going their way to point out and say, what their record would be. If I said Vinny had 23 home runs and 80 RBIs, well, then, that guy's having a good year. No, he's only got a 317 on base percentage. This team can't be 3 games over 500. No, that's the point.
Salvi yet again with 22 home runs.
Yeah, right. No, let's go back
How
to the
crazy
season and say,
is
here
it?
are the only things I get to tell you.
Remember
I can
how
only tell you these
bad Salvi was to start the year, the first half-ish?
things. Yeah.
Now he has 22 home runs and OPSing 737.
He's been awesome. He's been absolutely
By
awesome.
the way, the underlying numbers still scream, oh my gosh, they're insane.
Yeah. 913-912-4810. All right, Bill Barnwell writes about the NFL teams most likely to decline in the 2025 season. There's no, venom or anything for him listening to the Chiefs that are going to decline from a 15-1 record, 15-2, but I'm not – who cares about week 18 when they didn't start anybody and they lost 38-0 to the Denver Broncos. So, yeah, declining. Yeah, I can totally understand them declining. He talks about the one-score games, Chiefs being 10-0 in those particular games. Point differential, they were plus 59 in the point differential. But a couple of things that I wanted to counter from this. We'll get into the individual games in a little bit, but I want to start with the point differential. One of the things that he points out, he says teams that have won 14 or more games have a point differential over 100 points. Every other 14-plus win team since 1989 had a point differential of 100 or more points. The Chiefs were plus 59. But, just want to point out, the Chiefs were plus 59 on the season. They lost 38-0 to the Broncos. Before the Broncos game with one game to play, they were plus 97.
Yeah.
If they played their starters and won by 3, they're plus 100. I mean, is it exactly what he's saying? 14-plus win teams had a point differential of 100 points or more, and the Chiefs only had 59, meaning, good God, I mean, that's just way off.
Sure.
Well, they lost 38-0. In the games that they wanted to win, they were plus 97 with one extra game to go. Maybe they lose to the Broncos by 10 and they're plus 87. Still not plus 59. It's still, almost 30 points better than what they ended up being. Not the case with that, but if we're just looking at the raw numbers, the Chiefs were under 54% on red zone trips last year. They were 53.8%. You'd be surprised to know that was the lowest in Patrick Mahomes' career. In fact, the last 2 years have been rough. 53.8% last year and 54.1% in 2023. Before that was 70%, 60%, 61%. That's what the Chiefs were getting in their red zone opportunities. If you increase that and just say they score in the red zone what they had typically been averaging, it's 4 extra conversions. That's 28 points. Your point differential now goes to 125. Now is a little more in line. We're talking about 4 trips to the red zone over the course of 16 games for these starters at that time. 4 times that they convert in the red zone as opposed to not converting in the red zone. That was a big issue last year, and it's been a big issue the last couple of years. And I think it's symptomatic of what we're seeing with this team, that it is tougher to gain yards. And as tough as it is to gain yards between the 20, now shrink the field. Now try to gain those yards. Not a surprise that they struggled in the red zone the way that they did.
Hear me out. Kingsley Sumatia only in on red zone.
Just run
and
right
just
at.
run behind him.
Road
There we
grading.
go. We have you know how sometimes you switch out your running backs? Switch out your left guard.
There it is.
Easy.
Got it. He goes through and mentions the one-score games and highlights each one of them and talks about Baltimore and Isaiah Likely with the toe, and then they were lining up to go for 2, and they end up winning that game. Again, Baltimore, the Chiefs led by double digits in the fourth quarter, and Isaiah Likely's 35-yard touchdown came on 2nd and 17. Is that luck? Is that bad luck for the Chiefs? Is it good luck for the Ravens? Is that just ignored because that just happens over the course of a game? Certainly it does, but don't be down by double digits to where it comes down to a toenail for you to score the touchdown. Cincinnati, we know they converted the 4th and 6, except for it was illegal hands to the face on Wanya Morris.
Which I'm so glad in this article
He points out.
He goes, Bengals bailed out by or the Chiefs were bailed out by a 29-yard pass interference penalty.
Bailed out though.
Before the conspiracy theorists weigh in, keep in mind that a 21-yard conversion, the prior 4th and 6, wiped off. So he was fairly fair in his assessment.
Yeah, this
this
is not a Chiefs suck, they're terrible, the dynasty's over.
No,
that's not this. And I'm not disagreeing with a number of things that he's saying. I think 10-0 in one-score games, there is an expected regression that happens.
Yes,
I don't think the Chiefs will go undefeated in one-score games this year. They wouldn't have gone undefeated in one-score games if Josh Allen would have been stopped in Buffalo, and then the Chiefs wouldn't have scored. It'd have been a 2-point game.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "Oh, see, they lost that one-score game. It wouldn't be that crazy record of 10-0. That doesn't count as a one-score game because they lost by 9 in that game. Was it 29-20, whatever the final score was? But what also needs to be pointed out is the 4th and 6 conversion got the Chiefs at the Cincinnati 34-yard line. The pass interference got the Chiefs at the Cincinnati 35-yard line. They actually lost a yard in that exchange of the two things. They were a yard worse. It's only a yard, but still they were a yard further with the conversion. Atlanta points out the pass interference, 1st and goal, would have been 1st and goal at the 1, right? There's still 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Chiefs were up by 5, so they could have been down by 1 or down by 3 because I think Atlanta would have gone for 2. So that's a 6 or 8 point conversion at that point. They scored 6 or 8 points from the 1-yard line. The Chiefs also stopped a goal line stand in that game too. Tampa Bay points out Baker's 2-minute drive. They didn't go for 2, and the Chiefs win in overtime. 1, would they have converted the 2? I don't know. 2, Chiefs still had to drive in overtime to win. And 3, what's not pointed out here is the Chiefs had struggled through 3 quarters, and then they scored 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter in overtime. They turned it for all of the, well, do they just get lucky at the end? Do they find way? Yeah, they had been winning a number of these games, and the other teams were making comebacks. This is one they were struggling and losing, and then they turned it on. Got to the point to where Tampa Bay had to make a comeback because the Chiefs turned it on and then took the lead. Denver, the Leo Chanel block, we've been through that 3 different times. The same thing happened with the blocker, and Leo Chanel finally said, "I'm just going to go right through the guy."
Yeah,
he's falling backwards when I touch him.
I was at that game, and I was so glad because I went from going, "This is going to be the worst locker room of all time if they lose that game," to this was a more jovial and fun. Oh my goodness, how did this actually happen?
Crazy. Carolina. By the way, the Chiefs were up 11 entering the 4th quarter. Carolina never possessed the ball with a chance to take the lead. Never had one possession in that second half with a chance to take the lead.
I do like in the article again, he says, aided by a pair of pass interference penalties on Kansas City. So
Kansas City. Again, he's being fair.
I think he's been very fair in this article. And
Agreed.
Well, overarching thoughts after.
And then Vegas, the fumble. The Chiefs were up 13 points with a minute left to go in the 3rd quarter. Oddly enough, another 2nd and 17, 30-yard touchdown to a tight end in Brock Bowers on 2nd and 17. And then L.A., the Chargers, the right doink. They got the ball down 1 with 4.5 minutes left. They drained the clock and went all the way to the Chargers' 13-yard line to kick the field goal as time expires. The Chargers could have stopped them at any point. Now, they converted 3rd downs there. One of those was the Xavier Worthy dislocated finger and popping it back into place, right? Was that the one over the middle on 3rd and 10? That was pretty badass, by the way. So just pointing those out. And then the last point, and we'll take a break, and I want to weigh in on some of these things. He talked about the Chiefs were a league low 88% conversion rate or 81.8% field goals against. League low, opposing kickers made 81.8%. So I wanted to look through and see what the actual context of that is. Here are all the missed field goals against the Chiefs. 53, 55, 60, 35, Leo Chanel block.
Yeah.
56, 55, 58, 55, 35, Leo Chanel block against Houston. They were up by 9 at that point. They were up 23-12. They were up 11. They were trying to kick the field goal with a minute to go, Houston. To put them up, to only be down 8.
Yep.
And then onside kick, touchdown, 2-point conversion. But Leo Chanel blocked the kick. Chiefs take a knee. The missed field goals against the Chiefs, only 2 of them were under 53 yards.
And they were the blocked ones.
And both of them were blocked by Leo Chanel. So if you do the math, they were 7 of 14. Opposing kickers were 7 of 14 from 50 or more yards. League average is 70%. That means they should have gone 9 of 14.
Wait a minute. League average from 50 plus is now 70%.
70%.
Kickers have become
It's ridiculous.
insane.
Which means that they should have had 2 more made field goals from 50 or more yards. But I just mentioned the other 2 missed field goals were 35 and 35. That means kickers went 24 of 26 under 50 yards. They didn't miss gimmies that weren't blocked by Leo Chanel.
Yeah.
They were 24 of 26. That's 92%. League average is 89%, means they should have gone 23 of 26, meaning the course of an entire season, the Chiefs were +1 on missed field goals compared to what league average would be from those distances.
Yeah.
So that's not necessarily luck.
And again, blocks.
Those were blocks or 55, 58, 58, 60 were the missed field goals there. So there's a little context. Any field goal attempt they had under 50 yards was made unless Leo Chanel blocked it.
Yeah.
That's luck would be they had 10 missed kicks of 35 yards this year. No, they had 0. They had 2 blocks. So I just wanted to counter that one, too, on they got lucky because opposing teams were missing field goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Chiefs' defense was getting a stop and forcing 50-plus yard field goals on those drives.
And before folks get mad at Bill, because
he's totally fair in this.
I initially was, the first parts, you're like, calm down, Bill.
Yeah.
Calm down, Billiam. He did put a nice caveat at the end of all this. Says a pair of 7-point victories over the Chargers and Raiders weren't quite that close. Maybe it's unfair to include the Panthers game when Carolina never had the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Well, they had a chance to tie.
There's no guarantee that Buccaneers or Ravens would have converted their 2-pointers.
Yeah.
Or that the Raiders or Broncos would have hit their field goals to win.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't blocked, they could have still missed. So he says maybe it's not fair to treat these games as some collective combination of Chiefs magic and spectacular luck. So I do think that, again, very fair in the reporting, but it's still at the same time, the Chiefs were unusually successful.
I like that one.
In one-score games compared to the historical norm.
Nice. I like the way to put that. I like that. And he even says at the end, his final thought on this was, that team came within a few yards of making it, talks about it, 2021 to 2022 season, or a 2020 season to 2021, when they fell from 14-2 to 12-5, when they were really good in one-score games in 2020, and they went to the Super Bowl. And he said, that team came within a few yards of making it back to the Super Bowl. 12 wins and another deep playoff run seemed like a reasonable expectation for this team. So I thought it was totally fair. I just wanted to point out some of the, the kicking thing was the main thing, because I'm like, wow, they really, only 81% of field goals were converted against the Chiefs. What happened here? And then I'm like, okay, week 1, all right, 53, okay, 60 right before half. Okay, yeah, that's a missed field goal, but that was an attempted 60-yard field goal right before half that was missed. Okay, and that was the McCole Hardman return that he had. So there was a lot of those. And then I actually was surprised. I didn't remember that the only time that under 50 yards a missed field goal against the Chiefs were both Leo Chanel blocks. Every other one was made.
Goes to show you how damn good kickers are in the NFL right now.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling more zone next. I want to bring this up too because I think there's been lazy analysis that's happened with the Chiefs since the Super Bowl, and
No.
I'll say it. I'll be the one to say it. All right. Somebody has to say it. All right. That there's been some lazy analysis with the Chiefs.
Watch
since the
out
Super
for that
Bowl.
limb.
I know.
It might break.
Whoa. It's a high wire act I'm up on right now. The Bill Barnwell piece, I think, is, as we've said, I think is pretty fair for that. And he also points out, and this is where I think when we're talking about a regression of these one-score games, you're not going to be expected to go 10-0. And again, I don't think the Chiefs are going to go 10-0. In fact, at one point in the season last year, I said either the Chiefs stop playing one-score games or they're going to lose some of these. Nailed it.
Well, no, they did. They never lost a one-score game. The Eagles,
totally nailed it. But Bill Barnwell also points out here, and this is where I think the Chiefs could come into play. He talks about the Eagles and 23-24. And I'm trying to find where. Okay. So he said the Eagles, he had the Eagles taken a regression from 23 to 24, even with the Eagles regressing from the Super Bowl to 2023. He looked at some of the underlying numbers. He was right about 2023, but then 2024, he also had them struggling. And he said the underlying metrics estimating the team's true level of performance. And he said, he put the 2024 Eagles at number 4, most likely to regress. He said, so what did I miss? A massive improvement in the underlying level of play, driven by better players and coaching. The column uses 2024 data and underlying metrics to estimate each team's true level of performance. Though every team makes off-season changes, history tells us the information from the previous season helps predict what will happen in the year to come. His point is, it predicted what we thought about the Eagles. What it didn't include was the upgrade in personnel and then coaching along with it with Saquon Barkley, with the draft picks.
Yeah.
You didn't know how good that draft class was going to be.
New OC in DC too, correct?
Vic Fangio, you had some moves that they made. Zach Bond was one of the best free agent acquisitions. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean.
You could not have predicted a defensive end, an edge rusher turning into a middle linebacker as in one of the best middle linebackers in football. There was no way to predict that.
And maybe Quinyon Mitchell you could have predicted. Cooper DeJean being as good as he was. Saquon is obviously really good, but being a huge difference maker like that. And that's where I do think some of that with the Chiefs comes into play. The Chiefs' red zone percentage was so bad last year. They also lost their starting running back, lost their number one receiver, Hollywood Brown out most of the year. Travis Kelce admittedly told everybody that he took a step back last year. And some of the offseason, in the GQ article, some of the offseason stuff that he did last year, it's why rededication took place this offseason. And that left side of the offensive line was so terrible.
Yeah.
It was so awful. And you want to know the difference between left guard and left tackle? The Chicago Bears right now are wondering what's going on at their left tackle spot. If the Chiefs offered Josh Simmons for Joe Thuney right now to the Bears, they would accept the trade in a heartbeat. And that's what the Chiefs essentially have done, is they've traded Joe Thuney for Josh Simmons, not literally.
Yeah.
But that's the difference of left tackle and left guard. The Bears would take Josh Simmons in a heartbeat and say, we'll give you the left guard in Joe Thuney. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. I tell you what, if you're in fantasy football, I think you should just draft every single Cincinnati Bengal, including apparently Mitch Tinsley, who is the next like Chris Carter that catches everything for touchdowns. I mean, just like his contested catches that he made last night, he looked like a 4 or 5 year veteran out there.
It was amazing.
Like a name brand dude. It's like, who is this guy that's making these catches? And he did it back-to-back possessions. I would just draft which Bengal? Yes. I think that's the one you should draft is yes, that Bengal.
All of them.
Because I believe they may have a historically bad defense this year. We don't want to, I say we don't want to, but sometimes we do. And I think there are times where you can glean some things from preseason. We can talk about schemes and teams that are, game planning. And maybe Al Golden is just rope-a-doping everybody. Maybe he is just, all right, we're going to play the crappiest defense. What we're going to figure out is I'm going to put guys in a position that maybe I don't know that they'll succeed so that I know what they can't do. And the only way I'm going to do that is in games. And I don't care if they're going to drive down the field on us. We're trying to figure out how to win games starting in September. That's what we need to figure. Maybe that's what's going on. I will leave open the possibility that Al Golden is just playing these starters in the preseason through the first 2 games in a way that is trying to eliminate everything in his mind that they can't do. So I need to find out what that guy, okay, great. Put him in a bad spot, didn't come through. Now I know. Put him in what I believed was a bad spot. You know what? Made a play. Okay, let me write that down. We might have something with him. Could be the case.
Is that what the offensive line's doing too?
I offer all of this as a preface. I offer all of this as the preamble to then what I'm going to say, which is they may have an historically bad defense this year. There have been 4 possessions that their starters have been on the field. Mind you, 2 of those possessions, the backups have been in for the other team. The Eagles in week 1 went against the Eagles backups in week 1. And then the quote-unquote starters for the Commanders, there was no Terry McLaurin, obviously. But I think the starter stayed in for 2 possessions, while Jaden Daniels was only in for 1. So at quarter, kind of like Mahomes in week 1 of the preseason, he left, but the starter stayed in with Gardner Minshew. 4 possessions. Here's what they've seen. 4 possessions, 3 of them with a backup quarterback. 240 yards they've given up in 4 possessions and 24 points. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. 28 plays for 240 yards. I didn't even do the math on that before, the show.
Play,
but
8 point.
I want to get it right, so I'm going to do the actual calculator here because I'm not Seren and I can't just do the math that quickly on the air.
Niner, I think.
Is that a walkie-talkie? 8.6.
Yeah.
8.6 yards per play so far. 28 plays. 3 of those 28 have been third downs. They have faced 28 plays, and they have forced 3 third downs. One of those they got to stop. Actually, they got 2 stops on third down. They got 2 stops on a third down. One of those third downs was a 3rd and goal for the backup team for the Eagles before the 4th and goal tush push. It was 3rd and 1, and the Bengals starting defense held the 2nd string Eagles out of the end zone before the backup tush push got in there on 4th down. So they're actually 1 of 3 opposing teams are on 3rd down.
Wow.
1 of 1 on 4th down. So that's when they and then the one time they got a 3rd down stop that resulted in a field goal. That's what they have so far. And that field goal was, again, against the Eagles backups. And there's huge chunk plays. Like the Commanders last night, I mean, nobody was being touched. Deebo Samuel, 20 yards. JCM, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, that jerk. Breaking off a huge run.
It's Bill now.
Sorry. Bill Krosky-Merritt?
I believe he changed his name to Bill.
From Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt to Bill?
I'm actually not being facetious.
Really?
I thought I saw this yesterday.
You sure?
Drake, did you see this?
Jacory
No.
Bill
Krosky Merritt. I mean, you
Bill
could just
Krosky
be
Merritt.
totally. Oh, so his nickname is Bill. Okay. His nickname is Bill?
From the NFL, rookie Jacory Krosky Merritt goes by Bill.
Was that the Periscope down or whatever? When it was like, what's your name? Nitro. Oh, that's a cool nickname, man. What's your real name? Nitro? But I was thinking about a nickname. Mike. It doesn't sound good. No, it doesn't play. Jacory JCM seems like a good enough nickname. JCM, but apparently he's going by Bill. Jacory Bill
Big
Krosky
science
Merritt.
guy.
Yeah, that's right. Said I got the nickname Bill from having a bald head when I was little. Does Bill indicate bald? I thought it may be like Dollar Bill or something like that, you know?
Bill Nye, I think, had lettuce.
Yeah, Bill Nye.
Yeah, he had lettuce.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But not to get off topic of talking about JCM there, or Bill JBCM.
Okay.
Jacory Bill Krosky Merritt, JBCM. It's kind of like what's
BJCM. There we go.
What's 11? Her name is Millie Bobby Brown Bon Jovi.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, because her name is Millie Bobby Brown, but she married Bon Jovi's son.
Didn't
So
know.
her name, full name, Millie Bobby Brown Bon Jovi.
Love it.
Or in Stranger Things, 11. So, boy, interesting stuff there. We're really getting to we're bringing you all of the great stuff is what we're bringing you right now. But they may have a historically bad defense. And the latest on Trey Hendrickson, he traveled with the team to the Commanders game. Obviously didn't play. Continuing his hold in. He said they are close. So Cincinnati's listening to trade offers. They are close on annual average value and years, but still apart on the guaranteed dollars. So
Looks
they're not
like
close.
They're not providing any secured salary after the first season.
Right. They don't give guaranteed dollars after the first season until they did it with what? Burrow and Chase?
Probably.
And so Trey Hendrickson is saying that, no, I would like that as well. And they're going, you're 31. These guys are in their mid-20s. That's why we did that. You're 31. We're not going to give you guaranteed dollars after the first year, and they are holding firm on that. But here's the deal. When he says they're not close on the guaranteed dollars, but they're close on annual average value in years, so you're not close at all. Because if you're not even if you're close to getting a deal done, it would be years and annual average value we're good with. We've got that. But they're not there yet either. He said, we're close on getting to the annual average value and number of years that we want.
Yeah.
We're close to getting to that. And that's not even getting into the fact that the Bengals refused to give him guaranteed dollars after the first year, and he is refusing to play until he gets guaranteed dollars after the first year of this extension. And they're talking about trade offers.
Because
and
you'd
things like
basically
that.
just be playing on a franchise tag or
Right.
a one-year deal. There's no
Same thing.
no value. There's no safety net. And so I just don't
Because
understand.
then they can cut him and he'd be a free agent then anyway.
Correct. Yeah, the Bengals and how they operate has always perplexed me to an extent. I will say, if you play fantasy football and your draft has not happened yet, to your point, Jamar
Bengals.
Chase should be
He might
top
be a
four.
top 2 or 3 pick.
I have the 4th pick this year, and if he is there at 4, I'm drafting Jamar. This offense is going to have to do what the Chiefs did in 2018 to have any sort of shot.
I am. I love fantasy football, but I haven't played in a year-to-year snake draft league in a long time. So I play in auction leagues and keeper/dynasty leagues. So I actually don't know what the ranking of, like, if I had the first pick, second pick, third pick, fourth pick, who's the first off the board? Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, Chase. He was amazing last year.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in your PPR leagues.
Yeah.
But like I think Chase Yosivas,
Might be a viable
like Chase
player.
Brown. Chase Brown. I mean, he got the touchdown. They tried to throw the touchdown. Joe Burrow as the quarterback. 40+ yards and almost 5,000 yards passing, 40+ touchdowns, almost 5,000 yards last year. Like, they're going to have to outscore teams. They are going to have multiple losses this year where they score 40 points. There's going to be multiple losses for the Bengals this year in which they put 40 on the board.
I believe it.
I don't understand the strategy there with the Bengals. They bought in. I believe the front office and the staff bought in to what the reputation or the created sort of aura around Joe Burrow that didn't actually match reality through the 2021 postseason. They bought into Joe Burrow pulled that team to a Super Bowl.
Sure.
That offensively, they just did it. They did what they had to do, and that was a team that Burrow, Chase still holds the record for. Rashee Rice is second. He was close. For yards after catch, yards after contact for a rookie wide receiver in the postseason. Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, 1-2 in NFL history now. But they had that run of it, right? Joe Mixon, pretty good team. And they have gone from that, where it was a defensive first team. That team in Lou Anarumo was a defensive team that went through the playoffs not giving up 20 points. 4 of those games, and then the next year, the 7 games that they played in the 21 and 22 seasons, in which they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. They went 1 and 2 when the opposing team scored 20 or more points. Their one win was the Chiefs in overtime in the AFC Championship game, in which they were down by 18 at one point when Charvarius Ward refused to try to tackle Samaje Perine on a screen pass right before halftime in the Bengals, which changed the whole trajectory of that game, and also, of course, changed the trajectory when Eli Apple pass interfered Tyreek Hill in the end zone, which created the first down, and then it created the Tyreek Hill catch, and then going into the halftime. But they took that team that was clearly defense. Joe Burrow, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions through the AFC playoffs, 3 games, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They took that and said, we're going to build the best offense in the league. At the mercy of defense, as if they didn't experience it themselves. They bought into what their fans were saying. It was all Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow. It was all Joe Burrow. It was Joe Burrow this, Joe Burrow that, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow. Well, Joe Mixon was a part of it, and they let him go. All they need is a better offensive line, and then they're going to be gangbusters. And then to hear some Bengals fans this offseason and go, give Joe Burrow Josh Allen's defense. What would he look like?
Give him his weapons.
Right, but we've seen what Joe Burrow has looked like with a really good defense. He's won games in the postseason. But we've also seen Joe Burrow without a good defense not make the playoffs.
Well, this has been my point and why I think Chiefs fans, we should all be so thrilled that they've understood what you need to win in today's NFL landscape and environment. Yeah, it's great if you have both. The Eagles had both. I mean, the Eagles, they spend money and they have the void years and all of that stuff. It's great. But if you want to have the best complete team, if you have that elite elevating quarterback, you don't spend money on wide receiver. You don't do it because he can elevate wide receivers. He cannot elevate the defense. You can't elevate when you're running for your life. You can help out the offensive line.
Yeah.
Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar, they help their offensive line more than Joe because they're more mobile. But I just keep going back to if you are a Chiefs fan and you are the person that always wants, we got to have all pros. I'm not saying don't spend draft capital on wide receivers, but when it comes to those second and third contracts, we saw Tyreek Hill. The most successful era of Chiefs football has actually happened post Tyreek Hill. It's all about the complete team.
Yeah, just 2 weeks in, and again, I allow for the possibility that Al Golden is just playing the most generic possible and putting guys in positions where he thinks they'll fail, but he wants to make sure that these are definitely things they can't do. I know what he can do. I'm not going to put him in a position to do something that I already know he can do. But I'm getting used to this team. But it's also a new coordinator with new schemes and everything. A bad defense, it's also learning a new scheme. So I just, sometimes we can get too into the weeds in preseason games. And then sometimes some preseason games are lead-ins to what is actually going to happen in the regular season. sometimes it can be deceiving, like Kingsley last year. He looked pretty good. Even week 1 against the Ravens looked pretty good. And then no bueno since then. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. How about some Blind Box? We'll talk with Blind Box Barbecue and what they're doing and teaming up with Rashee Rice and some cool things going on. We'll talk with Blind Box coming up next. And then we'll hear from the Chiefs Coordinator Day, Tobe and Spags and Nags. Tobes, Spags, and Nags from the Chiefs practice facility. More Zone next. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs about 20 minutes from now. But right now, time to talk about something really cool going on in Kansas City with the folks from Blind Box Barbecue, Joe Tulipana and Andrew Sullivan joining us here in the zone. Guys, how are you?
Good. How are
Let's
you
move this one over in front of you there. There you go. Oh, sorry. There we go. Got it.
Mic check.
There you go. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you? Happy to be here.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so let's talk about what's going on with Blind Box. 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years for the anniversary coming up on the 28th. That's crazy that it's been that long.
It's awesome. Yeah, coming right up on 10 years here in the next 9 days. And we're super pumped about it. We got a lot of great stuff rolling out. But it's just really a tribute to the Shawnee community and all those who have supported us since day one.
Yeah. And you guys have continued to grow and grow and grow, which is really cool with some of the happy hours that you guys have. But one of the things that we mentioned was you guys are getting ready to team up with Rashee Rice.
That's right.
So what are we doing here teaming up with Rashee Rice at Blind Box?
We have a bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline. First off, Rasheed's such a great guy, awesome dude. And, you know, we've had the opportunity to get him inside the restaurant, curate some plates for him. So we've actually got two brand new menu items rolling out for him.
Are these things that like he's taste
yeah.
testing and coming up with ideas of what to do?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a starter called the Sweet Chili Kickoff, which is sweet chili glazed pork ribs with beef tallow house fries. And then Rasheed's heavyweight plate, it's a loaded up plate. It's 4 spare ribs, burn ends, bourbon baked beans, mac and cheese, collard greens, and cornbread muffin with some honey butter.
So what I love about this is that Rashee, a Texas kid, that's teaming up with
he
some
knows
Kansas
his
City
barbecue,
barbecue.
that's for sure.
But teaming up with Kansas City barbecue, understanding where it's at. I mean, come on.
One of my favorite things, too, is Rashee, you'll see him at Blind Box just for fun, just to go grab lunch or dinner. I've seen him go there with some teammates. He'll post it on his Instagram or his Snapchat, all that stuff. So Rashee's a big Blind Box guy. It's not just because they're partnered with Blind Box. It's because Rashee actually digs Blind Box. I remember the first time in Shawnee I went. I didn't know you guys. This is a long time ago. We were going to some bar close by, and we were going to get some food, and we looked it up. We're like, this looks pretty good. And I was just blown away. Not only that, a great bourbon selection. I know I've never talked about it ever on this show that I like bourbon.
Do you like bourbon?
Shockingly, right? And so I was like, this is my new spot.
Do you play softball?
I retired.
Okay,
I retired now. I'm too old.
If you were ever going to mention that on the air.
I played on Friday, but I'm too old. I retired. But no, Blind Box, to me, it was great. They ended up doing my friend's rehearsal, wedding. Jansen, you guys did his rehearsal dinner for, and then everyone's hooked now.
Well, one of the things that is fascinating about what you guys have been able to do in the decade and coming up on the 10-year anniversary is this is a town that it's pretty difficult to break in to the barbecue business. Like, you better know what you're doing, or you're going to go out of business pretty quickly. And Andrew, maybe you can speak to that, of what you guys have been able to do to separate yourself, to make a name, to where now it's 10 years running, and it's like Blind Box. Oh yeah, Shawnee, I know about Blind Box. When Sterling's talking about, what's this place? Let's go check it out. Oh wait, the food. Let me come back.
Absolutely. Yeah, Joe told me when I first started, once you make it to 10 years in KC, you've become legit.
Yes.
So I guess in his words, in about 9 days, we are officially legit. So
do you have a go-to if you're like, all right, I'm coming here for the first time. This is what I'm going to get here at Blind Box.
Burn ends.
Yeah, for
burn
sure.
ends. All that's an easy answer in KC.
It is, but you better do it right.
Absolutely.
It's an easy answer in KC, but if you don't do it right, I don't need to go to your spot to get some lackluster burn-ins. I've got 15 other places that I can probably go, and they'd be pretty good. And if you can separate yourself with that, then you know what you're doing.
I will also point out, every restaurant has their side that they go with, right? The smoked mac and cheese is just incredible. The coleslaw, just insane. The fact you guys smoke it gives that extra flavor. Highly recommend that, because I think every barbecue place has a side that they try and crown, and Blind Box has a couple there.
How often do you guys sit in the laboratory and just try to come up with different stuff?
Ooh, good question.
Does it happen often? Because I would love to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you need somebody to help try to come up with different things and just taste test and stuff like that, I am available a lot. For dinner time and lunchtime and breakfast.
Over the last 10 years, it's definitely it's not been set it and forget it. I mean, we're tweaking, we're improving, we're making things more efficient, constantly tasting every single day. So, our motto is a modern take on classic Kansas City barbecue. So that kind of goes back to the sides. You've got your classic mac and cheese, your classic potato salad. Now, what can we do to set ourselves apart? Level up.
Yeah. When does when does it start with Rashee Rice? Are these meals and dishes already available, or is this going to start at the 10-year anniversary? What's going on with when these things that Rashee Rice has helped curate available at Blind Box?
1st of September.
Okay.
We'll be rolling them out, dine in and carry out.
Okay, so right in time for the first of the season.
That's
right in
right.
time for Rashee Rice's return to the field since the injury last year with that. So
That's right.
pretty awesome. And you guys have advanced to the point that you got an app now.
Oh, yeah.
You got that going for you, and some of the best happy hour things in Kansas City too at Blind Box.
Yeah, with the app, we just kicked off a new loyalty program called Ringside Rewards.
Awesome.
It's very aggressive, catered right towards our loyalists, rewarding those who continue to just, back us, continue to be loyal to Blind Box.
I have to say, Andrew just came in with a haymaker and said, "I thought you would be different." Andrew walks
we're
in
going
and
there.
he goes. I'm saying it. He goes. I like putting the voice to the face.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I what you thought? What
Is
you
that
what you
ask
expected?
people? Do you typically ask people? Is that what you expected?
And
Am I what you expected?
Am I what you expected? He's like, well, I thought 6'5" and ripped. I'm like, I thought I'm in decent shape over here. No, but I eat like a 6'5" ripped guy. Okay, that's the difference.
Andrew.
Jason knows.
Andrew, let me tell you, I thought he'd be different too. I did too.
But I'm better, right?
I mean,
you had lower
well,
expectations.
debatable.
I've raised said expectations.
Debatable.
I plead the
certainly.
fifth. I'm with you, Jason.
Blind Box Barbecue, August 28th, the 10-year anniversary. Just a Shawnee spot where if you're in the area, you don't understand about Blind Box Barbecue, and great stuff with the community and the iconic menu items and. Just fantastic food and this cool spot coming up with Rashee Rice. So again, what are the dishes that you and Rashee Rice are teaming up with on September 1st that's going to be out there available? What are those dishes again?
Our starter, called the Sweet Chili Kickoff, sweet chili glazed pork ribs with beef tallow house fries. So we actually use the trimmings from the brisket, render that down,
Oh, wow.
and then cook our fries in that. It's an incredible dish.
Oh my God!
And so that's just the starter. And then for the main event, you got Rashee's heavyweight plate: ribs, burnt ends, beans, mac, collard greens, cornbread, honey butter.
And I've seen some of the behind the scenes of what Rashee's rocking and
yeah.
some of these promos, and it is badass.
Swag.
If you're a cheese fan, check it out. It is damn cool.
Yes, that is awesome. So you got becoming a Kansas City barbecue tradition is Blind Box, 10 years running. And again, you make it a decade. You're right, Joe. You make it a decade in Kansas City as a barbecue restaurant. You've made it, and a really awesome Shawnee spot. Again, that's Blind Box Barbecue in Shawnee, Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Yep, right inside Nebraska French Mart at the Legends. We've got Blind Box, and then also our coffee shop right next to it, the Press Pig.
Nice. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for stopping in and talking with us. We appreciate it. And make sure everybody gets out there. August 28th, 10-year anniversary. You've got the loyalty program that's starting with the app September 1st with the Rashee Rice collaboration with these fantastic meals. Real quick, is he a chili fan? Like, is that why did he show up and was like, we got to have something that involves chili?
He's a sweet guy.
Okay.
But, if you know Blind Box, I think we have a little tend to kick everything up a notch. So those ribs really are a nice balance of sweetness and spice.
At first, you meant chili as in like the beans and meat, and I now get what you're saying with the chili glaze because they actually did chili last year for Restaurant Week.
Yes.
And my goodness, I think I make good chili.
Right.
My wife told me I make great chili.
No, she
we
didn't.
still chose your chili, and that was a little heartbreaking for me because I think that's like the one thing that I pride myself on. And you guys still had a better chili than me. So Blind Box, when they do make chili, not just the glaze, it's insane.
It is surprising, though, that a restaurant like Blind Box would have better food than you would make at home.
No, I let it simmer for 8 hours, Jason. I let that thing
guys, you see
cook.
what I'm dealing with? Sterling is actually surprised his wife would say, actually, Blind Box makes better food than you. What?
Not just one specific thing.
What?
Sterling, I'm sorry.
I
One
can't
specific
imagine.
thing. It's just chili. Like I think I can. No,
Don't
go.
blaspheme chili.
No, I
it's
love
not
chili.
just chili. You can mess up chili.
They did a great job, though. That was the point I'm making. Is everything I've had at Blind Box, even when it's not a traditional, staple on the menu, these one-offs are incredible. So a couple one-offs just for this Rasheed Rice collab, even more special.
I just love that Sterling's compliment is, I got to be honest, it's so good they make it better than I do.
It's just the one thing. Any other food item, I guarantee is gonna be better than mine. Chili, I pride myself in.
I'm sure it's great.
Pride. 8 hours. I set it and let it simmer low and slow, and they still kick my ass in it. It's a chili cook-off that I lost. They didn't even know was going on.
Set it and forget it.
We'll get you the recipe, Sterling.
Thank you. Please, Andrew, please.
I got you.
Just throw some burn-ins in there.
There you go. You know what? That's the answer to a lot.
Yeah.
That's the answer to a lot. We're almost out of Lucky Charms. Throw some burn-ins in there. It's all good. Joe Talapana and Andrew Sullivan, Blind Box. Thank you guys for stopping by. Really appreciate it.
Thank you
for
guys.
having us.
Absolutely. Looking forward to September 1st, this collaboration with Rasheed Rice. That app is out. Go download that right now, and you can check out the loyalty programs and the rewards. If you're already loyal to Blind Box, might as well earn some rewards along the way. And if you are not, then you need to go check it out, and then you will start to be loyal to Blind Box. We'll take a time out, and Sterling.
Beer, bourbon, barbecue, Blind Box.
Battlestar Galactica. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes. We'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs. It'll be Coordinator Day. Dave Tobe, Matt Nagy, Steve Spagnuolo, and we'll hear from Ashton Gelati as well. We'll hear from one half of the Greek Treat, Ashton Gelati, who had one heck of a block on special teams for the Jalen Royals. I don't know if you saw the clip of that, Sterling, highlighting Gelati just walling off one of the kick coverage players and just driving them back another 10 yards, helping open up the hole for Jalen Royals' return. It's like, oh, okay, this guy is physical no matter what he does. Like, he's kind of a motor guy no matter what he does. But thank you to Blind Box Barbecue hanging out with the Stopping In, and September 1st when that collaboration releases with Rasheed Rice at the restaurant at Blind Box there in Shawnee. Nebraska Furniture Mart as well, and they have dropped off some food for us here. So, what's that?
Am I on now?
Nope.
I am
Gotcha.
now. Yes, we did it.
Got him.
Oh my gosh. Well, Drake just probably thought I was going to eat right away.
This
is very hard for me.
That is reasonable for Drake to say. There's food here. Sterling's not going to be a part of the segment. He's just going to eat.
I'm staring at some gorgeous-looking brisket, burnt ends, sausage, some turkey, and some ribs.
Yes.
They brought in some carrot cake cupcakes. I told you about the smoked potato salad.
Yes.
They brought that bad boy in. I'm salivating. I am ready for coordinators to talk so I can immediately start crushing this absolute delectable deliciousness.
We need nags, spags, and tabs to get up there and start talking, man.
They are taking vastly too long. I was told 11:45.
45.
They're 2 minutes late. And
right?
Andy Reid should get on them right now because this is really cutting into my
Somebody should ask Steve Spagnuolo.
eating time.
Ask Steve Spagnuolo if they're interested in Jadeveon Clowney or Zadarius Smith now that FAU is out for the season. And specifically those names. Say the Spags with FAU going down. Obviously, it's unfortunate. It's tough for him. But Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, guys who are still out there available, pass rushers, guys who both finished in the top 20 of pass rush win rate last year. Both guys were in the top 20, still free agents. Jadeveon Clowney was number 20. Zadarius Smith was number 17. For example, George Karlaftis was number 63.
Was he?
Here's Dave Tope.
You got a bunch of returners the other night. Anyone stand out? You made that surprise.
Besides Sky?
Yeah, besides that.
Yeah. I mean, I was really proud of him. Even though it's at the end of the game, I mean, you never stop, trying to score. And guys did a good job blocking it up, but Sky really did a nice job setting it up and then hitting the sideline and then going. I was really happy for him. He even came up to me after the inning and goes, "I needed that." I said, "Yeah, you did." So it was good for him. I was happy.
Any trace from any of the other? You have a lot of finesse.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Royals did a really nice job. I thought he showed us something. I mean, he almost broke that one. I mean, it was down there. The kicker just tripped him up right at the end. That was good to see. Young players showing up, making plays. I thought Gelati really played great on special teams. He had 3 tackles on special teams. He had a knockdown, blocks. I mean, he's an animal out there. So I'm excited about him, as another rookie. Bassa still a work in progress. He keeps working at it and keeps getting better. The thing with him is not the coverage; it's the blocking. And it's just really technically. He's, athletically, he's everything you want. It's just about getting the technique down on blocking.
Gelati, does that fit in line with what you saw in camp?
Oh yeah. He. It's not a surprise that he's, he's so physical. He's big and he's fast and he's physical and he's got a really great toughness about him. So he fits well on special teams. I think it's going to be hard to keep him off the field on defense, but I tell you what, I'm going to use him up as much as I can, until that point comes.
And with Sky, you touched on it, but it's not just the return, but just kind of what his earlier the game was like, what the past couple of years have been like for him.
Yeah, I mean his punt return ability and kick return ability has really gotten better over the years, and it showed right there. I mean he's solid there, in that part of it. The other part is it's the mental, I think, with him, and it's just about getting over that hump you know, he's definitely an NFL player. You know, whether he's on our team or not on our team, I mean, you know, I think the return helped him. You know, it opened a lot of eyes for people, and you know, he's a good football player.
Does that move him up your?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd be happy with Sky back there. I mean, he's broke through. He had a barrier, you know, when he was a rookie. He had that couple bad things that happened, but then he had a lot of success in the playoffs. You know, so I think he got over that, and he's comfortable back there. He's one of our best catchers on punts. So, you know, I feel comfortable if we had to use it. You know, if it came down to that.
You've got like a year of data on this new way to return kicks. Not as many returns as people thought, but you'll get more this time. But the way that kickoffs used to be, is there more or less holds, blocks in the back? Has it changed any of that part?
I haven't really, you know, I haven't noticed that, but there are a lot more returns. I mean, there's going to be more returns, no question. I mean, nobody's just going to just kick a touchback and allow them that 35-yard line. That's a big advantage. So, I mean, you want to take your chances with a good kick and then try to, you know, get it on the ground and try to get them tackled inside the 30. I mean, you're saving, you know, a big chunk of yardage right there. So, teams are going to do that, and I just think it's going to increase the importance of the whole play, either kickoff or kick return. So, you know, will there be more penalties? Probably, you know, a little bit, but teams are going to get better at it, and you know, and figure things out as we go. You know, the team that figures it out early is going to be the team that has success early. So, hopefully, that's us.
How does Burchard seem to be fitting in? Because it seems like there's maybe a confidence level difference between punt return and kick return.
Yeah, the confidence on kick return is, you know, it's easy to catch a kick return. You know, you see it coming, and there's a lot of space between you and the guys. You know, and you got time to get in position. Punt return, you're looking up in the air, and these guys are coming down on you. You know, and you don't know where they're at, and you know, and it's the timing thing, and then it's about reading the football too. I mean, you'll see it on that one, the last punt return in the last game. He had a bad read on the ball, you know, and it kind of got over his head a little bit, and then he was near the sideline, and he kind of just lost track of where he was at. It's hard. It's hard to play punt return, you know, in the NFL. It's different catching balls on a jugs machine or in practice when nobody's out there. When they're coming down on you, and you know you're going to get hit, that's a whole other deal.
We're in the last two, Blair and then Nate.
Is Ariza giving you what you?
Yeah, Ariza, he's gotten better. I mean, there's no question he's better punter now than he was last year at the end of the season. You know, he's improved on his pooches, his directionals both ways. He's able to go left and right. I mean, he's always able to go left. Now he's able to get the ball right a little bit more. That's going to help. His confidence level's gone up. You know, I think it helped having competition for him because it did make him really focus. And, you know, I'm happy where he's at right now. You know, we just got to keep staying consistent now.
Last one, Nate.
Where are you trying to push Taekwon right now?
Where am I trying to push him?
Yeah, based on what you've seen so far in training camp.
He got to find a role for him. You know, he's definitely found a role on the offense. I don't think there's any question about that. You know, he showed up there. He's got, you know, Pat has a lot of confidence in him, and all the offensive coaches have confidence in him. Now I got to find a role for him on teams. Whether he's going to play gunner, he's going to be a kick returner, he's going to play end on punt return. Is he going to play a 2 on the kickoff? You know, he's got to play somewhere. Being a third or fourth or fifth receiver, those guys got to play on special teams because they're taking up a roster spot. And you know, but the thing about him, he's got a lot of speed. He's a slight guy, so he's got to use his speed. He's got to use his quickness to get around people. He's not going to run over anybody like Gelati. But he's, you know, we just got to find a role for him. And he's open to it. He's been great, and he's getting better and better at gunner. He's showing up a little bit more.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, so there's Dave Tobe, and a couple of things there. Ashton Gelati talks about how good he is. I don't know how much he's going to play on defense, but I'm going to use him up as much as possible, as much as I can. And then Taekwon Thornton, we assumed he was on the team, but Dave Tobe is now telling you he's on the team. He said, I have to find a role for him. He's definitely already found a role on offense, but I have to find a spot. Those guys that are there on the team that are third, fourth receivers, they have to play teams.
Yeah.
So now it's my job to find a spot for Thornton. Meaning, hey, Tobe, Taekwon's on the team. Figure out where he's going to go on teams because he's one of these wide receivers that's going to be on the team. So Dave Tobe's now saying it's my job now. I got to find where I can play him because he has to play teams because of the roster spot he's taking up. So we assumed he was there. Now he is. Here's Spags.
I was in there talking, so I lost track of the phone. Good to see everybody. Last preseason game, hopefully it's better than the last one we just played from a defensive perspective. And I think our guys are ready to kind of put it together and play a little bit better. I hope that's the case. So with that, I'll just kind of open it up.
What were your biggest takeaways from it?
Yeah, I didn't like the way we played the run. I'll tell you what the biggest takeaway was, and I'm going to give Mike McDonald and his staff up there a lot of credit. It just felt like they came out with the intent to prove to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they did. They were coming out of the huddle fast. They were running right at us. I'm just not sure we were ready for that, and shame on us, but I think our guys will be ready to play good football this week.
I'm sure you can pinpoint to a lot of things when you say that, but what stood out specifically about them?
Yeah, listen, you know, Joe, myself, Brendan talk about it all the time. I mean, run defense begins in the middle, you know, tackles, linebackers, you know, and then it works its way out. And there were some things inside that weren't what we had normally done or how we had normally played. Now, listen, we all recognize we didn't have everybody out there. But like I said to them in the meeting right after the game, listen, Chris can't play every play because, you know, we rotate guys. What happens if this guy gets nicked and that guy gets nicked, and all of a sudden that's what we're playing with, and those guys are expected to stand up and play better than we did. So really from the inside, I began there, and then on the perimeter, the tackling wasn't nearly what we're used to. I think our secondary tackles as good as anybody or has. They didn't in that game. So everybody's kind of on high alert, and hopefully that gets straightened out.
With the loss of Felix and Adike, how does the end of that rotation, maybe in the defensive line, and the evaluation of who you might keep now, change a little bit?
Well, it hurts to lose anybody, and certainly Felix we were counting on in certain ways, right, in certain roles. We'll see who steps up and takes that role. I mean, it'll become numbers. I mean, Brett does a great job with that, him and Coach Reed. You know, some years I know we've kept 5 ends, and then it's 4, and then maybe I think sometimes we kept 6, but it might be 1 less tackle or 1 less linebacker. So when it gets down to the end there, it'll be who's the best 53 or however that works out. But, you know, in Felix's case, you know, the next D ends there. Malik's got an opportunity to jump up in there, and you know, Ashton's been playing good football. So we'll see how it pans out.
You talked a lot about Nick Bolton's importance this offseason. Just back to that first quarter, in an inverse way, does that show you almost how important Nick is?
That's a pretty good point. I hadn't thought of it. Although I will say this, Jack Cochran does as good a job, you know, from the mental standpoint. Jack's really good too. Now Jack got, you know, he's hurt now. He got dinged in the game early and kind of fought through that, and I think it affected him a little bit in the way we played. But yeah, Nick's the glue. But I don't want to take anything away from Jack Cochran because we rely on Jack as a fill-in guy. I just don't think, you know, I'm not sure I prepared him the right way for that particular offense. What they do with the wide zone scheme and all the cutback and the swaps and all that, and that's partly my fault too.
What do you expect out of your guys Friday?
I'm really hoping that we come out, you know, with a purpose, you know, early on. You know, I think Andy has stated that our guys are going to play a little bit. I don't know how far that'll go. But for as long as we got the so-called guys out there that we're going to roll with in a couple of weeks, I think we need to step up and show that we're better than what we were last week. I think the guys will do that. That'll be the intent. We'll see what happens. This is good offense we're playing. I mean, that quarterback's really good. The offensive coordinator, head coach, does a really good job scheme-wise. I'm sure, like everybody that comes in here, it doesn't matter whether it's, you know, regular season or preseason, and you play the Chiefs, they're all jacked up. So we're going to get there. We're going to get a good shot from them.
It seems like there's not as much luck as far as stings in defensive back room. You know, 3 weeks out of the regular season, you feel you guys will be okay defensive back-wise just with availability?
Well, I mean, the unknown is Christian right now because we haven't had him out there. And, you know, Jalen's missed some time. And now we got NJ that's a little bit dinged up. It's kind of been, you know, more than any group on the defense, that, you know, that back end has to have a lot of continuity, and that comes with reps. And so with a couple of different moving pieces, there's a little bit of concern there. So hopefully we can start to gel that together.
Couple more.
How do you feel like Josh Williams fits into that? Because Josh just seems like he's been maybe a bit of a man left out.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Josh has played really, really well. We we chart production in training camp, pass breakups, interceptions, forced fumbles, and Josh was right up there with a group of them. So to his credit, he has produced. He's going to get an opportunity now with NJ kind of dinged up here, and we'll see if that transpires. But the one thing, Josh always gives us is speed and length out on the edge. He's always giving us that.
Last one.
You got no last one. Appreciate
You
it.
gave him too much info.
All right, there's Steve Spagnuolo. You're listening to KCFX HD Harrisonville, Sports Radio 810 WHB Kansas City. Interesting, he talked about we'll hear from Matt Nagy, but talked about the run defense, why it was so bad, and he said the run defense begins inside. There were things that we did that's not really, what we should be doing. We'll talk about that a little bit. Here is Matt Nagy.
Them having that time off that they had last
Really the same way. I think what's great about this is it really allows us as coaches and players to really focus and prepare, kind of even for us as coaches, get back to the building, get into a mindset of what we do during the season as far as keeping the schedule the same. Like for today, for instance, I don't know what day it is in the real world, but for us it's a Thursday. Today's a Thursday, so we're doing a Thursday practice. And I think for us as coaches, we have some new guys on staff, offense, defense, special teams, so it allows us to get through that. And then for instance, the quarterbacks, the process they go through. It's different and easier when you're here than it is when you're at camp. It's a little bit different setting. So all of that kind of goes in tail, and then you get to the game and you go play.
You had 2 games with the new side of the left offensive line. You feel like you've seen enough to have confidence from the protection going into the regular season?
I feel really good right now where it's at, and I think that's a credit to Coach Heck and Coach Matei, and then obviously the players there on that left side. They've done a great job. Josh has done great. He's really, I think every day he gets a little bit better. He feels more confident, which is natural. So we want to keep that going. There's still going to be times where some things happen, and that's okay. Let's just learn from it and then just try to eliminate those as much as we can.
I know you get those reps in practice, but how important is it to get Patrick out there in a game situation with those guys?
It's vital. You want to be able to have that so that these guys, again, even for Patrick, like as he gets into the mode of getting ready to play the regular season, understanding, for instance, the offensive line, the sets that they have, where they're at, the cadence for those offensive linemen listening to Pat, that's important. Then those guys for instance, the young guys on the left side of the line communicating and hearing the calls that we have. So all of it is really a great test run and a great environment to be able to help them for week 1.
Matt, when you get to this point, how much are you trying to explain to Rashard Smith that, like, hey, I know it's a lot, but, like, trust us on, like, how long this process is to get him ready for, like, the regular season?
It's key that we make him understand that, because I can imagine a young guy like him coming into this offense, even a guy like Gardner that's here for the first time who's been in several different offenses. It can be a lot. So you just got to kind of temper their expectations and not allow them to get frustrated, whoever it is. If it's Burchard, if you make a mistake, that's okay. Don't make it twice. And then when you get a chance to get on the football field like he did last week, he made some good plays, and he did a good job there. So, but can you follow that up and continue with that is the key.
Coach Toad mentioned, that for a guy like Taekwon, looked like he's going to make the team, he's going to find a role for him on special teams. If you end up with, a guy like Sky or Nico that ends up being a 7th receiver, do you have a converse challenge of trying to figure out how to best use them on the offensive side?
Yeah, and I think it's a really good situation for us when you have that. One of the things that Coach Reed, Brett Veach, Tobe on special teams, they do a great job of trying to figure out, okay, if this guy is on the roster, how can we maximize what he does best? And then vice versa. If there's a guy that's a special teams guy and we need him in a certain role, like how do we get him in the offense and use him? Because you want to maximize those guys that are up for game day. And, you want to try to stay away from having a guy that's playing 4 or 5, 6 plays a game. You'd like to use those guys as much as possible, but the coaches do a good job with that.
I have a follow-up to the backup wide receiver room. How is Rashid's anticipated early availability might have impacted or complicated figuring out the back end of that receiver?
One of the things that we try to do as a staff was prepare both ways for it, just not knowing. Yeah. So we have a plan for if he is there and if he's not there, and so it kind of made it easier. And that's not something that we just did here recently. Like, we've thought it through. And there is a little bit of juggling in training camp, not only just with that, but also his health. making sure that you balance both of those together. So Coach Embry's done a great job of doing that, and I think we have a solid plan in place.
Last couple.
I want to ask you about the touchdown to Robert Tunyon there that Minshew threw.
Yeah.
Is he finding his own space there? Is that his route to stop on that play? Or is that something that he spots in the coverage?
No, he actually did some scrambling on that, and we told him after the play on the sideline, it's a great job listening to Coach Connor in training camp on the scramble rules. He was supposed to run he had a corner route, which is pretty obvious on that play, and then he just kind of saw what was happening, slipped back inside, and then Gardner made a heck of a throw, being able to see that throw across his body. That's one of those ones as a quarterback coach, you're like, no, yes, that was great. But that was just him playing football. He's had a great camp.
Yeah, and then on the left side of the offensive line that he asked about, how much of, I don't know whether it's playbook expansion, just how much of do you have to have in mind the fact that those guys are going to go through some educational stuff in the first part of the season?
We really we try to understand that on the front end, whether it's right when you get into training camp. It's nice because when you get in training camp, you put on the pads. So now you gotta let them play. You got to see what they can do. So the one-on-one reps too are great, which a lot of people don't see. But when they're getting these one-on-one reps during our 7-on-7 periods, that's valuable time. So we put all that together, and then now they get these preseason games, and so now that's all very real for them for timing. And now it's our job as coaches to make sure that we coach them the right way to help them develop.
Last one, Nate.
Matt, I imagine, work with me here. I imagine when you go through the scheme evaluation, short yardage is obviously of big importance. You also know too that you guys have not ran a quarterback sneak since October of 2019.
Yeah.
Does that encourage more creativity in terms of short yardage type plays, or has there been discussions about, hey, if Pat wants to have the freedom, has the ability to do it, you guys could return back to a more traditional style of short yardage plays?
Yeah, for us, that's a critical part of the game that you got to be great at, and we're hard on ourselves when we don't do well, and we know that the quarterback sneak in this game for a lot of teams is very, very important, and they do it. They live by it. You have the tush push that everybody does, or that several teams do. Obviously, we don't live in that world, but schematically, we feel like we have our own ways of kind of getting to that quarterback sneak, even if it's not that play. But then there also is maybe the element of surprise when that does come. You never know, right? So I think that's kind of an advantage to us. But it is for us to also know, hey, there are different ways to be successful, whether it's running the football, throwing it. And that's where I think, a lot of credit to Coach Reed and Coach Heck in the run game with that part of it.
You say you're not in the tush push world. Who, I guess, among the crew is saying maybe we should do that? Or is it just an acknowledgement that, hey, like, if we're not doing that, it gives us more options than, say, teams that are leaning towards being in that tush push world?
Well, I'm telling you that we're not in the tush push world, but maybe we are and you don't know it. Pretty sweet. Now you don't really know.
Right.
So maybe we come out the first 3rd and 1 and do it. It'd be pretty cool.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're not going to do that. I'll assume that the first 3rd and 1 of the season is not a tush push for the Kansas City Chiefs. But
that was great.
As he's saying, we're not in the tush push world. I'm telling you we're not in the tush push world, but we might be. We might be in the tush push world. Who knows? Oh, that was good. Yes, I appreciated that from Nags, Matt Nagy, Nags. We'll hear from Ashton Gelati coming up, I believe, right now or soon or briefly. But he talked about Patrick Mahomes and the starters playing on Friday night, and was asked about getting him out there. He said, quote, "It's vital. It's vital that they get out there." And then a lot of the things that he mentioned certainly was the cadence, the guys getting used to his cadence, the communication, but also he talked about Mahomes getting used to their pass sets and how deep the drops are for Josh Simmons or Kingsley. You got to get used to what you think will happen. So if Mahomes is very comfortable and familiar with, let's say, a left tackle, and let's say, Josh Simmons when he gets beat, he'll get beat to the inside. But if the guy tries to go around the top, he's good. He's in the wash, and it's done, and Mahomes is safe. Well, maybe you don't know that until like week 8 or 9. So then Mahomes, if he's taking his 5 or 7 step drop while looking down the field, and peripherally he sees a guy starting to turn the corner around the outside on Simmons, he's good. Yeah. He's got him. I'm good. I don't have to react now. Versus he's on the right shoulder of Josh Simmons inside. I'm getting my step. He's going to win that one. I need now to escape to my left here and get outside the pocket because that's where Simmons, like if things like that you just don't know until you get into game action when the guy can hit the quarterback and you don't just get to stand in the pocket or slide to your left a little bit, slide to your right, and then throw the football because they can't hit you.
Well, and we're hoping this year he slides to the left, slides to the right, and Shaw's real smooth.
Yes.
But I think that's probably part of the reason why we saw last year, we'd say, why is Mahomes bailing from clean pockets? Because he probably would see, and again, this is my thought process going off what you said, because if he sees, let's just say it was Wanye, or it was, someone getting beat, Kingsley on the inside last year, well, he's basically saying, I don't trust that because half the time that leads to immediate pressure on me, so I need to bail right now. So I think it's a great call, and probably why at times last year he was so uncomfortable, even when the pocket may have held up. It's almost just you're sitting there going, well, I have enough analysis and enough results of this guy getting beat in this situation that I'm not even going to risk it. I'm going to bail now because that might just buy me an extra second or two. I think there's something to that, Jason.
Yeah, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and I believe we'll hear from Ashton Gelati, or we just talk some baseball with Les Norman. We'll do that coming up next. All right, it may be a little bit for Ashton Gelati, which is all good because that allows us to hang out with Les Norman, Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City here on a Tuesday edition with the Royals playing some good baseball. They are no longer trying to get to that 500 spot, no longer getting close to it and then falling back. They are now 3 games over. Les, welcome to the show. What's up, brother?
Man, this is a very aromatic studio.
Yes, Blind Box Barbecue with a drop off some barbecue earlier today, about an hour ago, and it smells fantastic here in the studio.
I walked in here and got a barbecue smack in the face.
Yes, that's one of the best.
Amazing.
That's what if you're gonna get smacked in the face, getting smacked in the face by barbecue is probably one of the best ways to do that.
Absolutely, keep hitting me with it. Wow,
I ate a lot. They
Yes.
did bring in the smoked potato salad, and you can't just have a little of that.
Yeah.
I went and got a full helping and then proceeded to eat one of their desserts.
Oh, I haven't eaten the dessert yet. I'm a carrot cake.
Incredible.
Oh, is that what's here?
Oh, it's
Fiend.
incredible.
Man.
That
Dude,
is some of the moistest carrot cake I've ever had in my entire life. And then I had that and go, you know what? I still want more smoked potato salad. So shout out to the coordinators for talking today so
yes,
I could just
that's exactly right. Thank you for
gobble
doing
up
that.
the potatoes.
Yes. Les Norman is our guest. Les, I want to start off with this because it really felt like, and I'm glad I was wrong about this, but it really felt like the Royals would get close to 500 and then they'd lose a couple of games. Get to 500 and then lose a couple of games. And even Vinny said last week at one point that he goes, it just seems like we can't get over. We just can't get over the 500 mark, but we got to go out tomorrow, keep doing the things that we're doing every day. They've gotten over the 500 mark. They're now 64 and 61. Is that a mental sort of hurdle and marker sort of throughout the season to get past that 500 mark? Does it have a mental play on some of these players?
I think it does. I think it does. I think it's just one of. I don't think it's the main.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's one of. I don't even think that 500 itself is something you can look at as a player or a coach and think, oh, well, we're 500 based on everybody else. We still got a shot. I mean, you want to see that at least one game over to call it a winning season.
Yeah.
And it's obviously the season's not over yet, but still you look at that and there's that mental part of, okay. And the fact that you were a few games below and now you're 3 games above and then you got Lugo on the bump tonight, which, again, doesn't guarantee anything because his last 2 games have been a little sketch, but still a guy that you've been, riding on his shoulders most of the year. It's definitely an uplift. Yesterday, Sterling and I were texting, and I let him know that I had some pretty good seats last night.
And you didn't bring me.
Well, I went with a friend who brought me, but the reason I bring that up, besides the fact that I ate so much food last night, and I got a side note, the servers in the Crown Club at Kaufman are amazing. I mean, they work so incredibly hard of just taking orders and serving people the whole time. And I'm talking outside in the seats, not just when you get to eat your face off down there before the game. But they work so hard. So hats off to that group. They're such incredible people.
I really wish you would have cussed right there. Drake walked in here to get more baked beans.
Well, I've got a dump button here too, so there's a double dump.
A double dump?
Yeah, we got
but it would have been great. I thought Drake was in here. He's getting some beans. I thought we could have just had a lot of fun with him.
Yeah, you heard the squeak. That door opened up.
Right,
just
yes.
talk about like trucks, but say it maybe in a way that could be construed.
Oh, you're saying not to actually say it, but
just to really terrify him to see if he
Okay.
starts running back. I thought we could have done something fun there.
I see what
you
you're
guys
saying.
are way
Right,
too
yeah.
nice. I was the one
I
that was.
apologize. Yeah,
that's fine. The Royals have 37 games left on the season, and since July 1st, Les, they've been playing exactly 625 ball.
Yeah.
They played 625 in July, and they're playing 625 ball in August.
Yeah.
So 40 games worth, 625 baseball.
And look what it's done.
Yeah, and if they play 625 the rest of the way, they're at 87 wins, which is right around where the wild card will be at 87 wins. So they do have to keep up the pace that they've had since July 1st, but 40 games is not a small sample size. I mean, that's a quarter of the season that they've played, over 600 baseball, which tells me that there's a reality, there's a universe that the rest of the way, or a season that would be played, one out of, I don't know, however many times, where the Royals do play 625 baseball over their final 37, like they have over the first 40, and they're right there that final week to where we are watching the other game as much as we're watching the Royals that night to see what happens.
It brings a new vibe to it when you're watching games, watching other games, just kind of tracking it. And to finish my point, it wasn't about just the great seats and the fact that I ate my fat lips off,
sorry.
which is why I'm not eating today to level it off, but being that close to the dugout, I mean, I could hear him talking. I could see what was going on. Trading a wave with Q and Joe Dillon, the hitting coach I hadn't seen in forever since our playing days. But even the coaches, they're high-fiving each other. They're talking the whole game. The vibe is upbeat. These guys are Vinny hits the home run, and Yastrzemski, another leadoff home run. I mean, there's a vibe in that dugout that you can see that is never down. They're getting after it, and even the coaches in their own little circle, like the hitting coaches and Q and Sweeney and just all those guys together, like, hey, let's go, let's get after it, high-fiving each other, patting each other in the back, encouraging each other. It just, from start to finish, you could just really see that there's something different, that they're really pushing for this. And so that is probably why what you're seeing is a team that was a little bit below and now has this streak going. And, we said a week and a half ago, these are games they need to win. 2 out of 3 from the Nationals. They sweep the White Sox, and now they're 1-0 against the Rangers in the series. And so it's a good stretch. It's a stretch they needed to have, and wouldn't it be cool if it continued?
It would be awesome. And there's really, I don't think there's any reason to say that it won't continue. I mean, the schedule can toughen up a little bit, but, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is we mentioned in the first part of the show that there's a lot of criticism that happens right, wrong, or indifferent with a Major League Baseball manager, especially handling of a bullpen. I mean, there's you make the right decision. Okay, that's what you should have done anyway. You make the wrong decision, you're an idiot, and the whole reason they lost is because that particular guy is who you called on or you brought this pitcher out at that time.
Can't win.
Yeah, we know that. But there should be credit where credit is due that going back to August 6th, so that is now 10
Weeks?
games? 10 games that they have played since August 6th. That's when he made the move that Jonathan India, you're no longer leading off. That Yaz, you're now our leadoff hitter, which he's led off every game except one in that time. You're now the leadoff hitter, Yaz, and India, you're moving down to 7, maybe 6, depending on the night, but it's typically been 7. One, I'm just wondering from your standpoint, the conversation that goes into that with JJ and Q, how much of that is too bad? That's just what he does. You're on the team, and that's just what it's going to be. And how much is it? We know this player, and we feel confident that this is a guy we can go to, and we won't lose him. Where there might be other guys that are like, I'm taken out of the one spot. Well, then now we might as well not play him because he may sulk or pout. Or, Rafael Devers wouldn't pick up a first baseman's glove, and then they ended up trading him because it became a big issue in the clubhouse, and he wouldn't even play some. We're still going to bet you third. You're still the third. You're not going to play first every day, but we just need you. No, not doing it. All right, then go. What's that conversation like? Is it as simple as, like, who cares? You're a professional. You're batting 6th or 7th. Or is there something more delicate that goes into a guy who's always been a leadoff hitter that now you're saying, we traded for you to be a leadoff hitter. You're no longer leading off.
Well, how many, and you guys can answer this question if you want to, how many guys have worn a Royals uniform in the last 10 years that seemed like, wow, that dude was a prima donna. It's good that we don't have him anymore because he was all about himself, and you saw evidence of that. I mean, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. If you want to throw a name out, that's fine, but that's not my goal. My goal is that I think when part of the formula when the Royals sign some of these guys is the character side of things. They develop relationships with them. It is primarily about the statistics and your value and your role because it's a business. But part of that, too, has to be, one, about the player that you're signing on the character side, that if something like that happens, first of all, they're paying your salary. It doesn't matter. If you're a leadoff hitter who is struggling and the team is better, whether you like it or not, the right move was to move him down in the order. It just so happens that he's a high character guy that said, hey, I'll move down no matter what. And it's really good because that bomb that India hit the other day to tie it up against the White Sox, that was Sunday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a bomb. And last night, he turned on, I think it was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball into left field like he was waiting too long for it. I mean, he looks better. He looks more relaxed. The sound of that ball coming off the bat was like a stick of dynamite going off. So obviously it's changed for Yastrzemski. It's changed for India. It's changed for the team. It's obviously the better move. And so you have to think about that when you sign guys. It's not just the value, but it's their character and how they're going to handle those things.
Yeah, I was thinking the same things we were talking about in the first hour. It wasn't just the home run, but it's ever since he got dropped down, it's like the bat speed got quicker. It's like he turned into a power hitter. It's like you're no longer a leadoff guy. You're hitting 6th, 7th. Okay, I'll be a power guy now. I mean, that single last night, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I thought the exact same thing. His hands look quicker coming through the ball. He's turning on it more. I've been very impressed with Jonathan India. The defense has actually been better since he got moved down. Maybe that's just anecdotal instead of, maybe statistics-based, but he feels like he's playing a better second base since he got moved down.
Last night, there was a ball that I think there was nobody on, and it was a high chopper. I can't remember who hit it, but it was a high chopper that wasn't an easy play. And granted, he's not our best second baseman. Well, he might be right now, but overall, I mean, that's not his strong point is his defense. But he made a tough play look incredibly easy with a pick where he moved his feet. He got around it, and so he had to take a swipe at it the way the ball was hopping and top spinning. If he would have missed it, it would have hit him in the chest. So he got behind it, did the right thing. But the runner would have been safe because I think it was one of the lefties that hit it, and he just scooped it and threw it like it was nothing. So it's not just that play. It's the confidence that he's playing for. And Sterling, I think what your point, I want to feed off of your point, that sometimes you can get a mindset that, well, I'm the leadoff hitter, so I have to hit like a leadoff hitter. And when that's not working and you're still thrown in that role, your mindset doesn't change. And I feel like going down to the 6 hole, it was a break for him because it wasn't working, and so he didn't have to be. I mean, how do you be a 6 hole hitter? I mean, seriously, if you're in the lineup, well, I'm the 6 hole hitter, so I have to
keep the line moving. Yeah.
Keep the line moving. I have to swing at strikes. I mean, it doesn't change, but the leadoff hitter is different. The 4 hole hitter is different. The 9 hole hitter is even different. The 2 hole hitter, more hands, 3 and 4, power, drive, RBIs. 6 hole hitter is please get on.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, however you can. It's not that table setter pressure kind of thing. And so India struck out in an outside fastball last night, late in the game. And it was a ball, but here's the thing. He didn't look at the umpire. He didn't complain. As soon as it was called, put his head down, walked back to the dugout, did his thing, went out and played defense. So you can tell that he's not carrying things out on defense because his mindset is different. So it's not just helping the team. It's helping Jonathan India, and he's taking it in stride.
Well, it's a good point about the defense, too, because, he has been a guy that has been much maligned. I've certainly had my criticisms of India at second, and I wonder that how much is a guy that doesn't feel like he's coming through in the leadoff spot the way that they traded for him. And now it's like I've got to put all the pressure on myself to be a great second baseman because I got to bring something to the table. Oh, well, now I'm trying to be too fine, or now I'm making mistakes at second base. And then it all sort of starts to snowball because he wasn't the player they were hoping that he would be when they traded for him, but he has been now since he got moved down. And to your guys' point, the hardest hit ball last night was India's single.
Yeah.
It was 110 off the bat.
Wow. Yeah.
The single was. The next
it was an explosion. Again, sitting right behind the Royals on deck circle. So I'm literally right there, 30 feet basically from home plate. And he hit that. It was almost like I jumped. I'm like, wow, did you hear that? Because it was louder than Vinny's home run. It was louder than Yastrzemski's, and it was louder than Garcia's.
Yeah, Yastrzemski's was the second hardest hit ball at 107.7.
Which was also a missile, by the way.
And then Seager's line out, and then Bobby's single.
Yeah.
was the fourth hardest hit ball. Vinny's home run was the fifth hardest at 105.6. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 5 hardest hit balls last night, 105 or higher, were Royals players, 2 singles, and 2 home runs. 2 singles and 2 home runs that were hit hard. One quick one for you, too, and then we'll break, and I want to talk about something that India has done that I wonder if this is just part of the mental aspect of the game, and you being a hitter, I can't wait to get your thoughts on it. But the games they've played with Yaz in the 1 spot and India at the 6 or the 7, those guys combined. So since Yastrzemski's in the 1 hole and India batting 6th or 7th.
Smiling already before I hear it.
Dude, 75 plate appearances, 63 at-bats combined. So they have had 63 at-bats in the last 10 games with 2 players in the lineup that have combined to hit 254, get on base at 373, slug 587, and OPS at 960 in the last 10 games with their 1 hole and their 7/6 hole hitter.
And how many home runs is in that?
6. They each have 3.
That's
6
crazy.
home runs, 3 doubles.
In 10 games.
In 10 games, 11 walks. 11 walks. 3 of them are, 8 of them are Yaz. But, India's got 3 plus the hit by pitch. So they're not just singles and punch and Judy. Like they're slugging almost 600 between the two in 10 games and 63 at bats. Like Q's found something with that. Like making that move has really elongated the lineup for the Royals, and it's been pretty crucial. They're scoring runs and they're winning. So my point being, like, we can have criticisms for Quatraro, but he saw something in the lineup, got Yastrzemski, and said, "This is the move we're going to make," and it has been brilliant.
Yeah,
those guys have to perform, but they're doing that. And if he's stubborn and just like, no, India's our leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Yaz will bat 6th or 7th. India's our leadoff hitter. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're not going to change because we're not going to panic.
Right.
As opposed to, no, let's figure this out. So credit to him for making the move, and credit to the players for, playing the role that they're supposed to play.
Players, again, when you have a team that doesn't have the prima donnas on it at all, you have, you have a manager that he has earned his players' respect. I mean, you're not seeing a manager in Quatraro that played 20 years in the big leagues. He didn't win 17 All-Stars and, MVPs and all that. A lot of people, when he came into Kansas City, like, who is he again? And, okay, I know the organization, but what has he done and all those things? He's earned the respect. He knows what he's doing. He's very level-headed. Still would like to see him get kicked out of a game once in a great while, maybe once or twice a year.
Did.
Yeah.
Right. He did, but, I mean, with some
More.
fire.
You want more.
A little bit more, but with some fire.
I
but
want more.
We almost did with the blocking of second base.
Yes.
Which, I mean,
Yeah.
just take the rule out then. If
Right.
you're not going to call that.
Look, that's a hard job. There's so much going on. I mean, he had so many things in front of him he was keeping track of, and you having to think all the time. And I was watching the game, watching the dugout, watching when they came in. He was smiling the entire game. And for Q, sometimes it's not like a smile like maybe you or I would smile, but yet he looked like he was having fun too. Yeah. And when you have that kind of vibe going on and you trust your players and you're leading in that way, guys are going to have that humility. And it's amazing with India when you're humble, like, hey, whatever helps the team, I have no problem going down. Not like it would have mattered, but his attitude and his approach to that, it's funny how humility will open you up when your mind clears. Your mind clears, you're open up to play, you become a better athlete, you see the ball better, your timing, you feel better when you're not worried about all the other stuff. When you're not playing, and you've heard me say this before, I'm sorry, I'll say it again. When you're doing something athletically or anything professionally, when you're a high-powered, high-functioning, successful person, you're a type A, but when you stop trying to do things defensively or to not fail, it's amazing how successful you'll be.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. I want to talk to Les about something involving hitting and a particular bat, and really fascinated by his thoughts on this. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back next. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll hang out with Todd Lebo coming up at 1 o'clock. Right now, Les Norman, Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City.
This guy.
What are you, Chris Collinsworth?
This
guy.
He's like, I'll get some carrot cake dessert, but it's for my wife.
It absolutely is for my
is.
wife. I will not touch that. I will not.
Then how are you
going
to bring it home to her?
I'll touch the plate.
Yeah,
and it holds it.
Well, the transitive property says you're touching it.
Don't bring in big words to this thing.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is, I bet he gets in that car and he goes, it'll be better if I eat it now.
You know what's good now? Because now I'm going to video or take a picture of my wife eating
Yes,
that
you should.
in about 3 hours.
Mm.
And
Sterling.
That'll be my
your evidence.
By the way, anytime Les, I text him on Monday night, is it a phoner or a studio? He always sends me back Phil Collins references. This time it was Stu Studio.
Ah, okay.
Just say the word, oh, that was not on key.
That's good, though. I want to sit back. It's pretty. That was pretty. We were talking Jonathan India, so let's continue.
Hitting.
The story that on August 12th, so that would have been a week ago when they played the Nationals, when India hit the home run later on in the game. But the story that we heard from Joe Goldberg the next day was that before India's home run in the sixth inning, in a game in which the Royals ended up winning 8-5, in the fourth inning, Jonathan India hit a ball out to left field that he thought he got it. He thought he got all of it. It travels 364, launch angle of 27 degrees, traveled 364. His home run in the sixth inning, launch angle 27 degrees, traveled 396. In between the fourth inning and the sixth inning, he thought he really got a hold of it. And he's, annoyed. Goes to Michael Garcia and says, "Can I use your bat?" They have some of the same dimensions, and so he said, sure. He's got like 15 of them. So India uses his bat. Next at bat, launch angle 27 degrees, only it's 396.
Bat order placed.
And so he, running to first, you see him pointing at the dugout and smiling. It's like, what's that all about? Just like, oh, that's awesome. He had a two. And then Joel Goldberg telling the story is because he thought he got a home run, was annoyed, was mad, asked Garcia to use his bat. The very next at bat hits a home run. He's been using Michael Garcia's bat. And I don't know now, I tried to compare the bats from August, from that game when he hit the home run to last night and the night before the bat. They look the same, but also it could just be, his bat looked like that before that he's going. I haven't heard an update as to if he's still using Michael Garcia's bat.
Right.
But if he hits a home run and then plays the next day, because he was using Garcia's bat the next day too when Joel Goldberg was telling the story about it. If he was still hitting like that, you can't go back, right? You can't go back to your bat until you get in a slump, right?
I wouldn't. The reason they do that is because the feel is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
The weight, it's all distributed differently.
How different, and I know each bat, the dimensions, we know that part, but from bat to bat, if there's similar dimensions, how different do they feel? Can you get a bat that's hotter than other ones? I know it's.
Can you get a bat that's weighted differently at the end for a power hitter as opposed to I want this fully balanced, even though it's the same?
Yes, dimensions.
This is going to be 31 ounces. That's 31 ounces. But man, this feels like that's more weighted at the end, even though it's the same ounces.
Yeah, you're during a season. Your stance and your weight shift can be different. You get more tired. We're in the middle of August. It's hotter. You had a lot of at bats. You're more tired. I know that, during the season, late in the season, my bat speed might slow down a little bit, so I would have to stay with my C271 model, which was the Ken Griffey Jr. model, which is really even weight distribution the whole way. And so I always use a 34-inch bat, but sometimes I could go up to a 32. Back when I played, I wasn't a lifter. I was just more of a sprinter, very lean, so I'd always use a 31-ounce bat. But I felt a little bit stronger, and my balance was good. I wasn't drifting. I was seeing the ball well out of the pitcher's hand. I might go up a little bit because then I could get a little bit more distance on it, a little more bulk can drive the ball a little bit. And so oftentimes hitters will do that because maybe they're just a little bit weaker, tired, bat feels a little heavy through the zone a little bit, whereas like Garcia, I was talking to the guy I was with last night, and you see Garcia up close standing on deck, and he looks like this tall, skinny dude. But he's got a really big back and shoulders. I mean, he's a sneaky big dude. And so upper body, and then watching him hit, there's not a lot of body motion. He's a handsy of a hitter, but he hits rockets.
Boy, I bet your seat, you really appreciated that home run to left field.
I didn't want the game to end last night. I mean, because that was, I saw that pitch, and he hooked it a little bit, but not enough because if I'd have hit that ball, it probably would have been 35 feet foul because of the way I would get around balls.
So
where it hooked a little bit, but he stays through the ball so well and doesn't drift, get out front, turn his body too soon.
Did you see the replay and the view that they showed from up top?
I didn't.
Oh my! I mean, I don't think his hands left his chest.
Yeah,
like his hands were so close to his body, like. It's how
but
quick
the hands are
they were.
Yeah, but the hands
that
are
ball
working
was so inside.
Yeah.
Yes, but the hands were working together.
Yeah,
he didn't
right.
because if a hand doesn't work together and he uses too much top hand there and still gets to it,
100%.
that ball's way foul.
Yes,
but he's so good of a hitter. He's throwing both of his hands at the ball while his body is not drifting. He's hitting with his hands because he's getting his body stacked up, and what that means is it's not like his upper body's not getting out over the front side. He's not leaning back. He's got all his power in the middle, so his hands go to the ball, and he's able to drive balls. The ball he hit up the middle, I think he had a line out during the game last night, and it sounded to me, I don't know the exit velocity, but that sounded better than the home run did, because the home run, I felt like he even got it up toward the handle a little bit, not exactly where it should have been. So going back to that point, oftentimes bats feel a little bit different where you're just messing around in batting practice and you pick someone else's bat up without an intention to use it, but you're just getting a feel for it. And all of a sudden you pick it up and you're like, wait a second, that feels really good. I know that when I wasn't driving balls, oftentimes, even in the minor leagues, I would go to a heavy bat later in the season that was top heavy, not because I was trying to get hits, but because there was too much body, and I had to quiet my body down in order to get that. But once you get a barrel-ended, weight-ended bat, where it's mostly in the end, if you could get your hand started and keep your body quiet, you could get out front of it a little bit more and drive the ball a little bit better, which means more sacrifice flies, maybe some more doubles. Now, you can't, if a guy's pitching you inside, if you're seeing 94 to 97 in the inside corner, and it's late in the season, you probably shouldn't use a top heavy bat because you're just not getting in there. You're going to get sawed off, and or you just have to take the pitch because you can't get to it. So it does mentally mess with your mind a little bit when you feel like you can't swing, but then you pick somebody else's bat up, like, whoa, that feels really good. It's not like I don't believe that Jonathan India in the middle of a game said, I pick you and your bat, and let's try your bat. No, I mean, at some time, he knew that felt pretty good in his hands.
Well, and Joe Goldberg told the story that I guess Mike Hill was the closest dimensions that Jonathan India's bats are. So you probably know each teammate what they're using.
Most of the time you do. Yeah. And so, there's a pretty good chance that he's not going to take Vinny's bat up there. It's probably not going to happen.
Salvi, let me see your bat.
Yeah, Salvi, let me see your bat because I need
Use
a
it,
tie rod for underneath my ginormous, pickup truck or something because it's such a heavy, big bat. So, yeah, I'm sure he probably knew that. But again, it's all about feel because it could be really close. But if it doesn't feel good in your hands, even just picking it up, messing around like pretending to take a half swing, you're not using it because you don't trust it. And hitting is more feel than it is mechanical.
So no hot bats. No.
Well, I mean, Albert Bell, Sammy Sosa.
No. But like, really, like,
just sort of depends.
I've always wondered if you can get I don't know if the tree was extra dense or extra springy. I've always wondered if there's. You find a bat and you're like, this feels like I'm getting a little good trampoline effect on this bad boy.
Getting a few more feet on this thing than I typically would.
I've always thought about that, like, because then you really want to break it, obviously. But I've always wondered if there's every once in a while you get one thrown in your batch that's a little hotter than the rest.
Well, once in winter ball in the Dominican, Luis Polonia for batting practice would use an aluminum bat loaded with tennis balls. And the dude would drop bombs.
I would love to see that.
I mean, he would drop. I mean, he was a little guy. I mean, but he could hit though, and he would just drop bombs in batting practice. Now, I'll say this: I didn't actually see the tennis balls in the bat. I did look at the bat, and it looked like the cap might have been messed with a little bit. So I believed his story, but I also believed it when I saw what he was hitting in batting practice, and just again jacking around with an aluminum bat and. it was funny and it was fun and all that, but he was launching some balls. So, but no, I don't believe that there's any of that doctoring going.
No, I'm talking legal hot bats.
Like you just grab a bat and it's like, I feel like I'm getting 2 to 3 more feet on this bat. Feels like
that kind of hot bat.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking
just
like Sammy Sosa allegedly corking his bat.
So just hot, like, oh, okay. Well,
this feels different. It might be a mental thing.
It could be a mental thing, but also, and you have to really understand your swing to know this, but there are guys with certain styles of swing and weight shift and hands and just the way they hit, their body makeup, that, if you use a bat that has another ounce or two, for you, it's going to be a hot bat. There's also bats where... and they're so much better at this now, but back in the day when almost everybody was using just Louisville Slugger or the highest percentage of Louisville Slugger, you'd get a bat where there might have been 6 grains on the bat. Like they were really, the grains were far apart and you could see it. You'd use those because that means that wood was stronger and the likelihood of them not breaking is higher. I mean,
that's what I was getting. That was what I was getting at. Was like,
I got a bat in the minor leagues, and rarely you just get a box, and then guys would race to it because they're trying to find within their model to get that one bat that's really wide. And I found one of those. I found a C271 in low A ball, where I think I used it in BP. I would tape it, then untape it, and then use it in the game. And I went like 140 some at bats without breaking that bat.
Wow!
And that's when I was hitting over 400. And I mean, you
got Wonder Boy.
Yeah, I had but here's that. It's funny you say that because there was one game in Appleton. I went 5 for 5 and hit 5 balls off the end of the bat. They were all bloopers, and it was using that bat. And on the last one, the center fielder was cursing me out. You got 5 hits. You haven't hit a ball hard yet. I'm like, well, yeah, but you don't have any, so deal with it. But the last at bat, it broke. And I got to first base, and it was like the Wonder Boy, Robert Redford looking at the bat like I wanted to cry because I would like hold on to that bat, not let anybody else use it.
What'd you do with the splinters?
Well, here's the deal. Normally, people back then would maybe take a nail through it and then
shave
off the other end of the nail.
Put it back together.
At least for BP, not in games, but I destroyed it. It was done. So I threw it out. I gave it its proper goodbye, a little nudge on the face, a little rub on the cheek, like, you were good to me, Wonder Boy, and then boom.
And then looked over at the bat and picked me out a winner, Bobby.
Yep, and a couple weeks later, I got promoted, so I have fond memories of the bat.
And imagine if you'd had Wonder Boy at the big leagues.
It wouldn't have mattered because you have to actually play. You actually have to be able to use the bat for it to work. It doesn't work in the bat rack. You just get to think about it.
I don't know about that. Les Norman, Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. Les, you're the man. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, guys. That was fun.
Absolutely. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, wrap up this hour very quickly, and then Todd Lebo in the 1 o'clock hour. More Zone next. Thank you to Les Norman joining us, breaking the norm. Truckmovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. Royals in action tonight. Game 2 of this 4-game set. Seth Lugo on the mound versus Merrill Kelly. At one point, if you'd have said Seth Lugo's going up against Merrill Kelly, you would have said, okay, which teams are they on? Who are they playing for if they're going to be matching up in August? Well, we know Merrill Kelly is a Ranger, but Seth Lugo still with the Royals. Ashton Gelati had himself a nice game, and Dave Tobe certainly had glowing reviews of his play on special teams. Here is the Rook, Ashton Gelati.
Hello. Seems like Dave Tobe has really taken to your game. How has he expressed that to you and what he's said so far?
I think Tobe's just put me in a lot of positions just to work and compete, and that's kind of the bridge of trust right there. Like him putting me in position just to be able to work or put my talents on display, and we're just doing it from there.
So you're an animal out there. You said you're like an animal out there. Would you compare yourself to any type of animal?
I don't know if I have an animal in mind, but I just try to play fast, try to play physical.
Have you enjoyed the special teams aspect of this so far?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously, anything that gets you on the field is a good thing, and special teams is a big part of our game. Obviously, we want to get our special teams to be number 1, number 2 type, because it's a phase of the game, the hidden phase or lost phase. You know what I'm saying? So us being good on that will set up our offense better, set up our defense better. So really, any way we can contribute.
Like as camp went on, you got more and more opportunities with the top team. Did you sense yourself getting more comfortable even in the 3-4 weeks you were up there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as you play, you're going to get more comfortable, and especially the game speed picks up. And again, we're still building tempo and stuff like that, just going into season. But just being able to work with that's valuable. And so I cherish those moments and just use it as an opportunity to get better.
How would you evaluate the play of the defensive line in Seattle?
I think, obviously, it wasn't our best game. We can obviously improve. I think we can just be more physical. But at the end of the day, it's a team sport, so we just got to come together, stop and run, and that will allow us to rush passer and stuff like that. So,
Coach Spagnuolo said that he didn't feel he had the team prepared really for what was going to happen in Seattle. He felt something different about preparation yet this week for what you guys are going to do Friday?
I just think there's obviously we're picking up intensity, and obviously it's like a reality check. When a team runs the ball on us like that, you can't give up 400 some yards of total offense. So it's like a reality check. It's good that it happened now. I think obviously the intensity and the attention to detail, as always, is just building. So just feels like we're getting ready.
Yeah, on one of those kick opportunities, you kind of clear a guy way out. Do you enjoy blocking? Is that something that you like to do?
Yeah, I blocked a little bit in my high school days. I was a tight end, but it's like the same principle as defense. Like being able to manhandle someone, that's a good feeling, and just be able to exert will on people. So blocking is the same thing. If you get hands on people, you can do what you want. So that's kind of how I view it.
What have you learned in these 2 preseason games, not just about the speed of the NFL, but just even about yourself?
Well, obviously that, actually, hold on. Can you just rephrase that? Sorry. Take one bit.
Yeah, just, what have you kind of learned about the speed of the NFL from those 2 preseason games, and even just learned about yourself as a player?
Well, I would say the tempo is obviously a little bit higher than college. It's faster. There's a lot more eye candy, so attention to detail is very critical. Making sure my eyes are on the right key, make sure my footwork's clean. That's what cleans it up. I feel like, obviously, they put me in an opportunity or a position where I can perform and, just feeling it out from there. We're here for a reason, so.
Have you been back in town for like a week? You feel comfortable in town yet?
Yeah, I got an apartment, so it's nice to finally sleep in my mattress that I had to pay for. So, but yeah, so it's been nice, and obviously it's nice to be back in KC again, sleep in your own bed, being back in the city, get good food and all that kind of.
There you go. There's Ashton Gelati, and finally gets to sleep in a bed that he paid for. So there you go. The tempo, we talked about that, and attention to detail, his eyes being the key. A lot of eye candy. You got to make sure that you're reading correctly and seeing correctly. Footwork, all of that stuff. And then the question about how they performed against Seattle and what Spagnuolo said about that and his disappointment in especially the run defense versus now Chicago. And he said there's picking up intensity. It was a reality check against the Seattle Seahawks. Interesting. Said that attention to detail is always building, getting ready for the season, but the intensity is different this week for the Bears than it was for the Seahawks. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it was rough sledding, not for Seattle's offense, but certainly for the Chiefs' defense. Todd Lebo next. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Todd Lebo, the Drake. We got Fact or Fiction coming up in the second segment.
Fact? Sure.
Okay. What? It's
Probably.
Let's play Preponderance of Evidence. More likely to have happened or not.
Who knows?
Shadow of a doubt or probably. That's what we're playing. Coming up in the second segment with Todd Lebo. Yeah, that's right. Todd, how was practice? How was press conference? How was the press conference?
Started yet. Press conference was fine today.
Yeah,
true. They were pretty good. Coordinators. It was pretty real talk from Spags. I mean, he was down.
He wasn't too happy about that performance, nor should he be. That was pretty disappointing.
It was too late on a Friday night for most people to be upset.
Right, but
it's not our job. So
even if it's the backups in there, it's like, oh god, that was rough. And
Chris may not play every snap.
That's true.
You guys could be out here.
Yeah, you can't do that. Whatever you were doing, as he said, the run defense begins on the inside, and things that we were doing that we, aren't supposed to be doing. I don't know if this is specific what he was talking about, but I would guess, with the untrained novice naked eye that I have, because my eyes are not dressed, that Jerry Tillery on a run play, swimming an offensive lineman to shoot a gap where the offensive lineman's like, oh, okay,
go here,
and goes to the next level, and he just runs right past where the running back was going to go because you
might have got on that one
trying to get up there. I would guess that's probably not the way that Spags would like the defensive tackle to play that run.
Yeah,
maybe stand the guard, see where it's going, and then shed the block. Maybe, I don't know. I would guess that's probably part of it of what we saw. But yeah, it was pretty disappointing, and I think it does bring into focus the starters. It brings into focus that if every team had backup defensive tackles and all their backup linebackers, they might not be good at stopping the run. It kind of also shows, Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquil, those guys are important because even the linebacker play was gross.
Yeah, and I do think Coach Spags said that Jack Cochran does a really good job lining guys up and all that stuff. He's
that was the compliment he gave him.
Yeah,
he's really smart. It's a green dot, like he knows where everybody's supposed to be. And then,
well, and I guess he got hurt during the game. And tough luck. You're playing. He's just. I mean, listen, the guy's not Nick Bolton. That's okay.
Yeah. And
you don't have like 3 Nick Boltons on your team.
Yeah, and not athletic enough. Not Drew Tranquil, not Nick Bolton, and not even really Jeffrey Bassa, and his athleticism and speed.
It was ugly. I mean, they're flushing it. They're not forgetting about it, though, because I think they have a little more intensity this week getting ready for this game because they are going to play their starters. Coach hinted at that yesterday. We'll talk to him tomorrow. Well, he'll give us some more details, but probably not exact details, which is fine. I don't know what are the Bears doing.
That's a good
question. They said. They kind of did their starters Sunday night, right?
Yeah, they played their starters a couple series. Caleb Williams and everybody played.
So I don't know how they'll do it. I mean, it's a new coach and all that stuff. Maybe they'll do some of that, or maybe they won't.
That's interesting. Yeah, Spags made it sound like Andy always makes it sound like at least yesterday it was like, well, the starters will get a quarter and we'll see, or if starters will play and we'll see how long they go. Like, all right, maybe it's a series. But Spags sort of made it out to be like, well, the starters are going to go, and we'll see, how long we have them out there and however long we have them out there. It almost sounded like the way he presented it was like, we're going to have the starters a little bit, because we're going to be out there, and we're going to have the guys, and we're getting ready to go because we got to come out with a purpose. And he said, guys, we're going to have it a couple of weeks. Let's go show that we're better than what we showed last Friday because, next game after this one, it's real. But when he said, we're going to have guys out there that are going to be out there when the season starts, kind of the way he presented it sounded to me like they're planning on those guys playing what would typically be the second preseason game number of reps.
And Coach hasn't exactly told us that yet.
No.
It's just been this little kind of, I don't know, back and forth.
Yeah.
Not even back and forth. He's just kind of just said little hinty type things. But we do talk to him twice this week. So tomorrow, you heard Nagy say he doesn't know what day. Today's Tuesday, but it's their Thursday. So tomorrow's Fast Friday. So we'll get Coach then. He probably won't talk a lot, but first thing he's going to say, I know you're going to ask, and then maybe we'll get a little bit more. I don't know.
And then
I think we're supposed to talk to Patrick as well. Last week we talked to Patrick, and he didn't play. So I think we're going to talk to Patrick. He's going to play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He warmed up. He did everything that he typically would do, warming up.
Get up there and do those things.
In full pads and everything. That was literally the dress rehearsal. That's all he did was dress rehearsal for that one. I do think it's cool, though. I don't think Andy Reid did this. Maybe he did, but he's coloring it in this is for Brett Veach. but the only home preseason game is Friday, and that's the one that all the starters are going to play the most in, or we expect the starters to play the most reps
so
in
we'll
the
have
game
to wait
on Friday.
until next year when their home game's the second game and see how they do.
See if he switches back.
I don't know if this is a sea change or just that was at 9:00 at night too, and it was Friday. I don't know.
Do you think it's he said
it doesn't really matter?
Yeah,
I guess
in the end, probably no. But he said that part of the strategy was he wanted to give an extended look for Brett Veach to see some of those guys that they're going to keep.
They could get that this Friday.
Right. But my question is, based on the immediate reaction on Friday night, the second player to carry the ball and get the reps with the first team was Carson Steele. And the immediate reaction was, look, the Chiefs, they kind of tell you with the reps and guys that are there who's going to be on the team and who's going to be with the first team. And my reaction was sort of,
or is it tryout?
Or is it, let's see what we have in Carson Steele year 2 with the first team offensive line.
And if we don't like it.
And if we don't like it, then we kind of have an idea of Elijah Mitchell. We know what we're getting in Brashard Smith and Kareem Hunt
if you
and
talk to
Pacheco.
Most of the guys out there who cover the team, I think a lot of the consensus is Carson Steele's not on this team.
But then Friday night, it felt like on Twitter the consensus was, they're telling you right now Carson's on this team.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, is he
but
getting
we may
a tryout?
be doing this differently than we've done in the past.
Right.
So I don't really know. It's we'll see how it goes on special teams too. And, it's going to be a weird cut down time too. This is a strange one because, they're going to be leaving early to go out of the country to play a game. So they got to get all this stuff done, get all their little movings in and out on everyone. They've got time, right? It's 2 weeks from this Friday, but some of those late whatevers that sometimes happen, I don't know if they're going to be doing things like that.
I think they'll probably be doing something like that. I mean, they lose FAU. Are they just going to exchange that with Malik Herring or somebody else? Are they going to go for a Clowney or a Zadarius Smith? Or is there somebody going to be cut that maybe they bring in? But it's a week from today, and we found out one thing today as well, that Tyquan Thornton's definitely on the team.
Sounds like
he's absolutely on the team. When Dave Tobe says, I have to find a role for him.
What can he do for me?
I have to find a role for him. He's definitely found a role on offense, but those guys on the team as that receiver in that spot, they have to play special teams. I have to find a role for him. So Andy Reid, Tyquan's on the team, Dave. Figure out where he's going to play on teams.
He's going to return the ball. Is he going to go down and cover kicks? What's he going to do? He's done a really nice job this year. Tanyan as well.
Yeah.
From what they say, it sounds like he's on this team. So those two guys were not off-season pickups. They were in-season pickups last year. That's that kind of job that happens that we don't pay much attention to in November, December, January, where all of a sudden you'll be out there and you're like, who dis? You walk around, it's like, because they don't send out big releases for these guys. They're just kind of like transaction wire things. And then you'll be walking by, it's a different guy. And last year was weird because there were so many kickers in and out. And they didn't even normally in the locker room, there's a place.
You thought Robert Tonyan was a kicker?
No, I didn't. But one of the kickers was over there in that spot. Like the tight ends are on this little short wall between the two shower walls.
Right.
Okay, that's where they are. But sometimes there's some other people there. Like that Tyreek Hill's locker used to be there because there were so many wide receivers that kind of bled over. And then the specialists are generally right across from wide receivers right when you walk in the door. We had so many kickers because Harrison Butker wasn't gone. He still got a locker. They didn't cut him. So then one of the kickers, I think the first one,
Matthew Wright, maybe.
No,
the second one was on the other side. He was over with the D lineman.
Matthew Wright was the second one.
He was the third one. Second one they brought.
First one was Carolina that got
Spencer
Schrader.
He was there, and then
he was still there because he was on IR, so he was still there.
He was there all year, and then that's where he was all mixed in with the tight ends, and you're like Robert Tonyan. I remember that name. Was he a Packer once or something? I mean, you're just like he's just here. You don't talk to him because it's like.
But it's a good
bringing
point
him
too.
to the podium, and he's not going to play.
Yeah.
So they did a nice job. It looks like they have found two guys during the year last year, of which they were going to the Super Bowl, that they're going to be on the team this year.
And not that he's going to be on the team, but fitting in that mold of guys they brought in last year practice squad was Brownlee.
Yeah.
Jason Brownlee was a guy that they signed to the practice squad in January last year while they were going through the playoffs.
What is it, the futures contract?
Yeah,
I don't know
signed
what
him
officially called that. But,
but he was on the practice squad during the playoffs. He was on the practice squad for the divisional round AFC Championship and Super Bowl.
Down in New Orleans.
So I guess you get a ring, right, if you're on the practice squad?
Well, yes.
I mean,
if you're and they weren't the big Super Bowl rings. They got a ring that many of these guys don't care about.
Yeah,
but for the ones who weren't there before,
that'd be pretty
3
awesome.
kicker rings last year.
Yeah. I mean, if Brownlee somehow makes the team, you'd have 3 guys
The
that
more,
were practice squad
honestly,
last
that you
year.
look back at last year, I'm telling you, we watched. You watch the Kingdom series, and they do a great job of telling last year's story and the history of the team as well. But then I was, I just kind of forget the games sometimes because you're just living through it.
Yep.
And you watch all those games, and you're like, yeah, they really did have 3 kickers, and they all 3 kick game-winning kicks. And so-and-so was in, and this guy was hurt, and this guy was hurt, and this was happening, and all these things, and I don't know how they won 15 games and made the Super Bowl.
I've gone, and I've said this almost immediately after the game was over. I said, we're going to look back on last year's team and what they did, one, with a how, and 2, I think we're going to look back with a lot more appreciation for that season. I think we're going to look back in 10 years and say that may have been Andy Reid's best coaching job we've ever seen. The amount of injuries sustained, the amount of moving parts that happened, the amount of ups and downs, but yet the consistent and the constant was them winning games. They won games in a plethora of different ways. Some was special teams with Leo Chanel. Some was offense, the Bills game in the playoff with Patrick Mahomes going off. Some was a defense aided, right, against like the Broncos. I just found myself having a better appreciation because they were not, in my opinion, as good as the 2 years prior when they won. That team with the amount of injuries and everything was not as good. Yet they went 15-2.
Way, yeah.
You were going to look back in 10, 15 years from now and just be, I think, in my opinion, and be so impressed with what they did, how close they came, going to a 3rd straight Super Bowl.
And likely most people don't care because they didn't win, but you really do need to appreciate the whole organization, because going out and finding like kickers on a weekly basis and filling guys in throughout while you're going through this, while playing on every day of the week but Tuesday, all of the challenges that they had last year, it's pretty amazing.
I mean, how many teams are still trying to find kickers for an entire season?
A kicker.
And the Chiefs we're going out and bringing in multiple guys and having success.
Yeah. It's just like crazy.
Kareem Hunt off of the couch. I mean,
literally off the couch.
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster was a Patriot, and then he was a Chief. Samaje Perine was a Bronco, then he was a Chief. DeAndre Hopkins.
Perine wasn't signed till after the preseason games, right?
Yeah,
he was never in St. Joseph.
Yeah, because the looking back at
Broncos cut Perine.
Yeah, so last year the Kansas City Chiefs kept 5 cornerbacks and 5 safeties, so they kept 10 players in the secondary on official cutdown day.
Right.
So Samaje Perine was already in Kansas City at the time.
He's waiting.
And the next day they signed Perine and cut Nick Jones.
Right.
So I listed that as they kept 9 defensive backs because if Perine was already on the team, they would have kept Perine was a guy they were going to keep, and Nick Jones wasn't. So obviously Nick Jones was the guy that moved on. So I've listed the last 2 years that they've kept 9 players in the secondary. 2022 they kept 10. But if you look at the initial 53-man roster from the Chiefs, it was 10 because Nick Jones is on it. But less than 24 hours later, Nick Jones was off of it.
Yeah, I wonder what that conversation's like with him. Like, you made the team.
But
don't
you
get comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, Samaje's already there, so they know what they're going to do.
Pass the physical, and
they know if they're signing Samaje, then whoever is the last one, you'd have to have a conversation with him, right? Of like, or you just
maybe not.
We don't have to call him because he's made the team. We'll call him tomorrow.
Yeah.
when
you're not safe until you're on the plane, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that'd be the case until you're going to Brazil.
Yeah.
And maybe not even safe on the plane either. Maybe
I can't find my passport.
Grab somebody off the
Don't
plane.
worry about it.
Coach, I need to go and renew my passport. You don't, actually.
It's okay.
You really, unless you want to come and watch the game, unless you are getting a ticket.
It's all good. You don't have to worry about it.
I don't think you need to. Are you? Is there a level of concern for you? Maybe this will be a fact or fiction. If it is, then I'll stop. But
do you have an extreme level of concern?
Is there an extreme level of concern? Is it the most concerniest concern that Sterling has ever concerned in the history of concerned things that he is concerned about?
I know what he's not concerned about. Buttoning that button on his shirt.
I'm concerned about it. I am concerned about it.
Wait, why?
Kingsley at left guard.
I'm concerned. Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you want to see Jalen Moore? I mean,
I want to see more Kingsley.
Or Kingsley or Caliendo or somebody, or just leave Kingsley alone, put him there, leave him alone, and let's see him for more than 11 freaking snaps in a game.
He needs to play more. I hope they play 3 drives or something this time. And I mean, we at least last week, without Patrick, they played, backup quarterback.
Yeah.
I want to see more I want to see more Kingsley. I want to see Jalen Moore. I mean,
you want to see more Caliendo.
I'd like to
confuse
see
us all.
I'd like to see all of them, but there's just not enough snaps to do all
Yeah.
that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know what to think of Kingsley yet. I know that there's been a couple of really awful reps that look terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Reed kind of said, "Yeah, he got his foot caught on one."
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah,
Would have got his foot caught if he wouldn't get pushed back there.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe. Yeah. So he got his foot caught 3 yards in the backfield.
Yeah.
So, there's a chance that Kingsley's season mirrors last year.
it could. I mean, he could go out there and get this start, and then
Chargers
it's
play
just
fine.
like,
And then,
make
by the
it
way,
through.
week 2 is the Eagles.
It's week 2's the Eagles, and all of a sudden it could be Jalen Moore.
Or
I mean, we know what
Caliendo.
Caliendo looks like there.
And week 3 is the Giants that might have the best. Like Eagles and Giants have 2 of the top 3 or 4 defensive lines in football.
Yeah.
And that's week 2 and 3.
I definitely have a concern level
Yeah.
of that. I mean, it's an unknown.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely an unknown. It was an unknown last year, but everyone was like, well, they say it's going to be okay.
Looked fine in the preseason. Baltimore, I don't remember.
Okay-ish.
I don't remember having a conversation of like panic after the Baltimore
and it just,
game.
like, was
Toast.
gonzo.
Toast.
Like that. And I do think it looks to me, listen, I'm not in those meeting rooms. That's why I wanted to ask Coach yesterday, what are you seeing from Kingsley besides what we see? And they say they see what they want to see from him. But I think, some guys take defeat and having rough things happen to him and really get better. It seems to me like maybe he went into a shell during the games, and you can't have that. We saw some of that in that Kingdom thing, and that's not necessarily Kingsley. I can't remember which game. It might have been the Broncos game where he looked mad. Mahomes looked mad. We're like, well, he's mad. And you heard the mic'd up thing during one of those episodes. Like, it's the same move.
That was Wanya Morris against
That was
the
Wanya
Raiders.
Morris. Raiders, yeah, same move.
Max Crosby,
They were
same
down
guy,
there.
same move, twice.
Yeah, it was going down, and they had to settle for a field
they
goal.
settled for a field goal
So, and listen, nobody even talks about Wanya playing anymore.
Right. And he played from week 2 until they got DJ Humphries
Broncos.
against the Chargers.
Yeah. And Wanya
right?
looked light years better than Kingsley.
And then they
but
just
it
went
still
Tooney.
wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and then they went Tooney, and it was.
Oh, I don't disagree with that, but he looked so much better than Kingsley.
Yeah, it's not easy, man. The most important thing is if Simmons is right, I think you can withstand.
Well, left.
Yes, if he's left, if he's good, that's something that they didn't have at all last year. I mean, never had really good left tackle play. Joe Tooney did good work, but it's not the level that you need to be even almost Pro Bowl level, like Pro Bowl substitute level. It was awesome what he did. It was great. But they need, if they have that worked out, your left guard is probably not going to be the downfall of your season.
So let me ask you this. I brought this up in the first hour because we were talking about the difference between the left guard that maybe is the issue this year versus left tackle was clearly the issue last year, which then created an issue at left guard. But the Chiefs trade Joe Tooney to the Bears. And right now the Bears have 3 guys that are vying to start at left tackle. And there's a concern in Chicago about the left side. And if Braxton Jones won the job. But the question I asked Sterling is, if the Chiefs called up the Bears right now and said, we'll offer you Josh Simmons for Joe Tooney, they would accept the trade in a heartbeat.
Oh, I think so.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah,
So
22-year-old.
Yeah, so even from that standpoint, it's like, they got Chiefs traded away Joe Tooney, a left guard, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the team that has Joe Tooney at left guard
Doesn't have a left
is trying to
tackle.
figure out what the heck's going on at left tackle, and they're struggling the way that the Chiefs were last year. And I bet Joe Tooney's like, are you kidding me?
Don't ask me.
I'm not moving to left tackle,
My
folks.
contract now
Seriously.
will have to be vastly more expensive.
Yes, I just leave me alone at left guard. Whoever you have, you got 3 choices. All right. Last year
one.
we only had a couple. I guess with DJ Humphries, they technically then had 3 choices.
I forgot he even existed.
Yeah, pick one for the
I forgot
Chargers
about
game.
DJ Humphries.
For the Chargers
How
game,
about
he was gonna play a little. Then they played him the whole game, and he tears his hamstring in the fourth quarter against the Chargers.
Another guy who was on the couch.
Yeah, right. Brought him in, and he looked fine, except for the snap counter was off.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt again. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Fact or fiction, Sterling?
Why not?
We'll see. All right, hanging out on this Tuesday edition of The Zone.
Fact. Tuesday edition of the Zone.
Nagy's either trying to mess with me or, I certainly know how he feels when he said, I don't even know what day of the week it is. I know it's a Thursday for us or whatever day. I'm like, yeah, I feel you, Nags. But also don't get me confused this week.
Too. I don't know. You can't be confused this week.
Fact or fiction today is a Tuesday.
Fiction.
Yep. We're going to play some fact or fiction here. Since Todd was out covering the Chiefs today, let's start with him.
Let's do it.
Let's do that.
Lebo.
Yes.
Okay. Gelati gets.
Do you like it or not?
I do love gelati.
I like gelato and gelati.
Gelato.
Gelati, the best a man can get.
I don't know why that made me laugh. Gelato.
Gelati.
The Greek treat.
I'm never gonna. We're never gonna do this.
Karloftis and gelati.
We're never gonna do this.
He gets at least what?
The Greek treat.
We won't know because I'll get cut off again.
No, you won't.
Gelati.
So do you think it's?
All right, we're done.
Yep, I'm done. I promise. Scott's honor.
We can't have dead air. Let's go.
Gelati gets at least 3 sacks this year.
Fact.
I think 2.5 is more likely. I'll say fiction.
I mean, I'll go fact. I'll try to be positive.
I'll go fact. I think it's 3. It's a good line I set.
That was good. You got
nice.
2 different answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
We'll go to the man who's 0-1. Drake. Chiefs win preseason game 3, and they look good early.
That's a fact.
I don't know about the winning. I think they'll look good early. I don't really care about the winning, so I'll just say fact that they'll look good early.
I'll say fact. They're going to look good early.
Yeah, fact. They're going to look good early. I think they're holding up. I think they hold on to win, but I think that Spags is angry, and that defense going to be good.
Huge. All right.
I'm just saying, they're going to look good early.
It's tied 2-2-1 right now. I'll go first.
Jason?
Yep.
Turkey is the most underrated barbecue meat.
I thought he was going to say country in the world or something.
It probably is because of Istanbul. It's where the West and the East meet.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Istanbul. Fun fact for you.
Not on my list.
Why?
Boger was just there. We
Not
should ask
safe.
him about it.
Boger, how was Istanbul?
He did it on a little cruise. It was, like in it.
Was he just standing around outside?
I don't know.
Asked
I think
him,
we walk
you
down.
Looked there.
Here.
By the way, you call him Mr. Boger?
Yeah.
Mr. Boger?
Or Big Boss
Did you
Man?
just call him Boger?
Big Boss Man?
Did you just call him Boger?
Yeah, he did.
I call a lot of respect.
Boger. What are you playing basketball with him?
You talking
today?
to me? That's the boss.
Boger over here. Boop, whoop, whoop. Boger, I'm open. Yeah, his name's Mr. Boger, Boss Man, or
Boss
Sir?
Man Jr.
Or
BJ
Sir.
Upton.
Or
Boss Man
Sir.
Jr.
I am going to say fact.
I think you think this is a fact.
Yeah, fact.
It's a fact because it's a fact.
It's a fact. Turkey is the most underrated barbecue meat. Very, very underrated.
If it's
I don't
correct.
I don't. Yeah, today's was correct.
Yeah, blind box.
Blind box turkey
that
was
awesome.
Well, it must have been because I didn't get any of it.
insane.
You got it
Sorry
all-
about that.
you got it
Yeah,
all
we
eaten up?
crushed that. Jason and I, we went to town.
I do not order turkey at barbecue spots. I'm one of the few that actually orders the sausage at a lot of barbecue spots, but not turkey. This turkey was awesome.
Yeah,
That
most
is a-
underrated barbecue meat's turkey.
That is a spot that I would order turkey. It was good.
Lebo.
Yes.
3-3-2, all tied.
I am officially more than semi-concerned on Christian Fulton.
Oh, fact.
Officially more than semi.
And he shook his head back and forth. a little
Fact,
bit.
yeah.
Man, I kind of want to go through the percentages here. Officially is like 100%. More than a little concerned.
It's like
a little concerned is like what?
30.
30%?
20.
More than a little is like
I think
adding
semi.
Yeah,
I was
semi.
like, more than
semi could be like
semi-concerned?
12%. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Or it could be 45.
It
More
could be
than
anything.
no, that semi is not 45.
Could be.
I'm going to go 12%. More than semi could be 20%. So now we're looking at like 60%.
Yeah.
Fact.
Fact.
Yeah, yeah. You got there.
I am officially at least a little semi-concerned.
A little semi-concerned,
on
even different.
Christian Fulton. Like, dude, he's never
That's
been
like
healthy.
57%.
Well, he's never been healthy, and it could be more because
And
at least
here we are.
he's never been healthy, and yet here we are. And I am so excited when he came to Kansas City, and I can't even see the guy play. And
Didn't see him practice.
I'm disappointed.
Well, I think what you do is, you know how the Royals have some platoons? They've got the Yaz and the Gritchick. They kind of got the Frazier, Lofton thing going on. What the Chiefs have done is that they have created Juju and Hollywood. We'll take both these guys and try to get 17 games out of them.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Watson and Christian Fulton. We'll take both these guys at battle
Don't
injuries.
gone the same time.
And try to get 17 games out of them.
That's the trick.
You know?
Having one of them healthy all
One
the
of
time.
them healthy at all times. You know,
Doesn't always work that way.
Yes, but you just take those guys, you platoon them.
Maybe it's going to be great.
I'm officially at least a little semi-concerned on Christian Fulton, yeah.
4-4-3, we're all tied. Drake goes first here.
Drake, the Royals will split the series with the Rangers.
That's fiction. They'll win it.
I am going to say that is a fact because I'm counting the DeGrom game as a loss. That means they would go 1-1 in the other two.
Tonight is huge.
It's huge. I'm going to say it's 2-2 split.
I want to say, I said yesterday that I thought they would split. So I'm going to stick with that. So this would be fiction. They're not going to win.
Correct.
Okay. Fiction.
And the Drake is correct.
Oh, man.
That, you read me like a book. The Royals will split the series.
I mean,
didn't
last
say
night
at
was
least
a monster
split.
for
Yeah,
sure.
they're gonna win this series.
4-4-4, we're all tied.
Good job, Drake. Way to be smart. Way to no ball. So we'll go to Jason this time.
I'll start this one.
K-State not only beats Iowa State, but does so convincingly.
Boy, convincingly's a relative term because they're favored by 3. Is 7 convincingly?
Depends how it goes in the game.
That's doubling
you
the
could,
line.
You could win by 7, but if it's a final
I see what you're
play,
saying.
that's not convincingly.
Yeah. What if
they're up by 10 and they give up a late
And they
touchdown
don't
and win
even-
don't even cover?
Yeah.
But you're like, well, they never had a chance to lose.
So
that's still
you'll judge
convincingly.
this.
So
I
it's
judge
up to
this.
you
I'm the
totally?
judge.
You'll judge this Saturday. You
I'm like
text
Roger
that
Goodell.
Saturday.
So
You
whatever
text that.
happens, like eventually it comes back to me. Like, oh,
Okay.
she said this. Nah, I'm the real
You know what?
decision maker here.
Let's do it, man. That's a fact. That is a fact.
It's a fiction because he is still mad at K-State for beating Brady Cook 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was bad. That was at least 2.
I think Iowa State's a good
That was
team.
3
too.
years ago. I
Iowa
think.
State was in the title game last year, and they're bringing their quarterback back.
Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago.
Fiction.
I think K-State's got a good shot at winning, but convincingly, it's a little too amorphous to me. I'll say fiction.
Fact. They are going to
Yes,
win
thank you.
convincingly.
Thank you.
I will be an Emaw.
You forgot he married into Emaw.
On Saturday. No, I just think that Avery Johnson another year is going to look really good. Some of the veterans, now they're veterans in college that they brought in.
The Cats are still just looking to leave the country to beat Iowa State. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm in on K-State this year, and I'm in on K-State against Iowa State. If they beat that Iowa State team week 1, things look real good for them rest of the year. So
Remember,
big win on the totals.
Yeah, Iman Law.
Yeah.
Iman Law. It is 5-4. We're all tied.
It's purple.
Todd will
I
lead
think
us
most
off on
people
this
do.
one. It depends.
I bleed crimson.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the air, but prior to the
Doesn't
air,
matter.
yeah.
It's in me. I'm not bleeding.
Yeah, exactly.
The hemoglobin, I think.
exactly right.
Lebo.
It's in sports or leisure. No anatomy questions.
Defensive line. Well, we might get one. Defensive line.
Speaking of anatomy, Chris Jones.
Come on. Give me the
Defensive line
What?
is my biggest concern for the Chiefs.
I thought it was Christian Fulton.
No, he's just semi.
Semi,
whatever.
a little more than.
I think this is a fact.
I think it's fiction. I think you're still more concerned about left tackle.
I think it's a fact.
Fact.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Drake does not know ball.
I'm comfy with Josh Simmons at left tackle. I'm comfy there.
Okay.
Right now, defensive line, I'm not comfy there. They drafted Omar Lot to bring the juice, and then they're like, hey, bulk up so you're better in the run game, and now you have no juice, at least what we've seen so far. Jerry Tillery's like, hey, I'm just only caring about getting after the quarterback, which I've not done, and I'm also just not going to care at all about the run game. Defensive line is making me a little nervous. Charles Menu playing late into that preseason game and not really providing much. got me nervous.
Yeah.
Nervous.
So biggest concern for the Chiefs is their defensive line right now, August 19th.
You're looking for Omar Epps. Who has the juice now?
We will go
He would
to
not be good at D-line.
No. 6-5 to 4. We're all tied.
Anderson, I believe.
Drake leads us off. 6-5
Drake,
to
I
4.
knew it. Fries dipped in ketchup is undefeated.
Well, you were talking the other day about how was it the Frosty you like to dip them in?
No, that was me.
or
That
was not me.
something else?
I said
thought you-
randomly. It was
not
good.
me.
I said randomly. I thought it was. I think it's good.
I think. I mean, I love fries in ketchup, but I think there's some weird, mildly upsetting thing you'd like to dip them in more. So I'll say fiction.
I think I'm going to go fiction on this one too. You like the fancy sauce?
The way you
It's
worded
my
it,
fancy sauce.
it's like it's the best thing in the world. So that's a fiction.
Yeah, it's fiction.
I'll make you a list of things that are better than that.
I hate ketchup.
Oh, okay.
So that is
We all
complete
got it right.
fiction. First off, mustard and fries is top tier.
Mustard and
Mustard
fries?
and
Yellow or
fries,
brown?
outstanding.
So Drake got it right. So Drake nailed it. By
if
the
you
way,
don't like mustard on your fries, you
are human,
or a
Have taste
liar and a
buds?
felon.
Some kind of Dijon or a yellow mustard.
It can be either kind, especially if you like the beer battered fries with mustard. That is just, oh my goodness gracious,
You
great
ranch
balls
boy?
of fire. I like ranch. Barbecue sauce is elite as well.
By the way, as of Sunday, mustard had only won 10 hot dog races out at the K
There's a
this year,
conspiracy.
and
Last
I-
night,
They're
ketchup-
tired of big mustard and
Ketchup
all
came from
they
behind last
do.
night. Mustard was in first place.
Well,
Ketchup late. I mean, mustard. I was at mustard had a lead.
You know why?
Ketchup
It's big condiment.
dove
It's
at
big
the,
condiment, and they
So
want you
you're
to
saying,
buy more ketchup.
You're saying the red had to catch up.
Yeah, had to catch up.
Well, Jason keeps talking about surprise cuts. I think mustard's done for.
They're cutting mustard.
Cutting mustard.
They're putting
Putting
mayo.
Mayo.
A lot of people can't cut the mustard, but they're going to.
Ketchup, mayo, and relish.
I am
next
relishing
week.
the time we get with Drake here. All
Gravy?
right,
Let's go.
Gravy's good too.
We got to go.
7-6 to 5. We're all tied. I'll go first on this one.
I agree with the Colts' decision to start Daniel Jones.
Fiction.
You probably talked about this earlier, so I'm going to say fiction. I don't think you think Anthony Richards is any good, but I think you think Daniel Jones stinks. So fiction.
I need to catch up. I'll say fact.
He's pulling a Corey right
Fiction.
here.
No, I was going to say he was going to switch it at live.
I thought about it, but
Thought about
I
it.
can't even change that one. I mean, Daniel Jones is just. What are you doing? Anthony Richards is younger than like
Oh, he's
everyone.
younger than everyone got
He's like
drafted.
the youngest quarterback in the NFL, and so they're like, yeah, he's done.
He makes sense for multiple reasons. One, you see what you have in him another year. And two, if he sucks worse than Daniel Jones, you're closer to getting a chance at your next quarterback.
Yeah, I'm perplexed.
So-
and also, Daniel Jones isn't good. So what are we doing here?
He's the playoff winning quarterback.
Kidding me?
Daniel
That's
Jones.
Danny Dimes, dude. Nobody's called Anthony
Road
Richardson.
win playoff
Tony
winning
Dimes.
quarterback.
Lebo.
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice will play in at least 10 games this year.
Oh, fact. Unless you got him not making the playoffs.
Oh, is it regular and postseason?
Didn't say that. I
Didn't
said
say
at least
it.
10
I'm
games.
saying it
yeah,
is.
Okay, yeah. So if you didn't say
He's
it,
already
then it's gotta
played
be.
in a preseason game. So.
Doesn't count. Preseason doesn't count.
Okay, so if preseason doesn't count, then postseason does count.
Postseason does.
Oh, okay.
Fact, but it might be a little close.
Yeah, postseason, I'm going to go fact.
I'm going fact. Postseason's what's going to get it over.
Okay.
I read you.
You read me.
I know.
You know my
I should have
caveats.
been quiet
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, you should have been because it was the postseason.
I wish I was
that-
last on that one.
I would've
Postseason's
gone-
going to get it over.
I would have gone fiction on that without the postseason because I'd have been like,
Lebo, you see?
I blew it.
nice job.
It's
Thank
all,
you,
we're
Lee.
still tied.
It's 9 to 6. We're all tied anyway. Drake goes first.
Sure or why not?
Fact.
How is that?
I'm kidding. If Kingsley plays the same as he has through the first two preseason games, Mike Caliendo should and will start game one.
Fact.
I'm going to say, well, this is what you think, not the Chiefs think, right? I'm going to say it's a fact for you. It's a fiction for the Chiefs because if he plays the same as he did week 1 and 2, then he's going to play.
I'm staying fiction.
Yeah, it's.
Drake, I want to go with you. We're going fact.
Yes, nice.
We're going to say it's a fact.
But it was fiction.
10 to
Could be.
8 to 7.
Could be.
10 to 8 to 7. We're all
He
tied.
needed one.
Yeah.
And
But
we were still tied.
it's the will start. He
Yeah.
should start if Kingsley looks the same he has the previous 2 weeks. The Chiefs are still going to roll out with Kingsley game one.
Last one. 10, 8,
go.
7. We're all tied.
Saints will have the worst record in the NFL this year.
Fiction. I don't know.
Fiction.
Fact.
Giants.
Fiction Giants. You know me so well, Lebo.
Nice.
Why are you in my head?
11.
where I
Boy, I
live.
got 11 of 12. I was knowing ball.
Because you're
But we're
copying
still
Lebo.
tied.
Lebo got
What's
9.
the tiebreaker?
11 to 9 to 7. What's the tiebreaker? We're all tied.
Bonus.
Tiebreaker.
Top 5 cuts of meat. Steak edition.
Okay.
What are the
Okay.
top 5 cuts of meat? Steaks.
All right, this is the tiebreaker / bonus. Top 5 cuts of steak. You want to start at 5 or 1? Sterling?
5.
All
5. I got a tri-tip.
Sirloin.
Ribeye. Come on.
Ribeye.
That's number 1.
Number 1 is ribeye.
No,
All right,
ribeye's
high
5.
Number 1 is ribeye.
Ribeye / tomahawk because they're the same thing. That's number 5.
No, okay.
Oh, I'm
Overrated.
starting at number 1. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means we're all
ribeye.
we're all in agreement that
Ribeye,
you're dumb.
Overrated.
You're so stupid.
Overrated cut
That
of
was
meat.
number 5 at New York strip. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
strip
had
is
3
4th.
cents.
Strip is 4.
Sirloin. I had strip 4.
Strip, KC strip. You put New York, you don't get a point. It's
Why would you
KC
put
strip.
New York
KC strip's number 3.
I put a T-bone.
I had a T-bone number 3.
T-bone's number 3.
I had filet number 2. It's filet's number 1 for you.
Filet's number 1.
Filet's number 2 for me.
Porterhouse is number 2.
Filet is number 2.
Porterhouse
is just everything.
It's different than a T-bone.
All right, here's the
Read
deal.
a book.
so
Look it up.
stupid.
You're the
You're so
worst.
stupid.
The ribeye is the best.
Ribeye is
Filet.
number 1.
Filet number 1. Porterhouse number 2. Because that's a bigger filet on that. You get the porterhouse, you get the strip and the filet, but it's
Awful.
bigger. T-bone number 3.
You said a lot of dumb things.
So if
4
you
is
take out,
KC strip. 5 is ribeye.
so if you take out porterhouse, then I got 2, 3, and 4 exactly right, and ribeye should be number 1.
I don't want to win
I feel
this.
like I'm
I don't
I'm
want
the
to win
winner.
this with your list. I don't even
Yeah.
want to win it.
no one wins. I win. I'm the winner.
Do not take the
You
award,
just
Jason.
put Patrick Mahomes number 5.
Kyle
That's what you
wins. Kyle wins.
did. You just put Patrick Mahomes number 5.
No, ribeye it's overrated. It's great. It's a great cut of meat. I'm a big meat guy. Love meat. But filet mignon is number 1 with a bullet, my guy. Ribeye, slightly overrated.
Sounds like you hate Patrick Mahomes.
Don't you dare,
Yeah.
sir.